Good evening and welcome to the first annual New Hampshire Distance Festival. We find ourselves at Sauhegan High School, Amherst, New Hampshire, and we've got a pretty interesting meet today because we have a meet within a meet. In addition to our Distance Festival, we have our BSR Elite events as well, which is going to be our 800 and miles as well. It's going to be boys 800 and girls miles, boys mile from there. But we start off with the miles, and we've got quite a few of them going. I know we've got some reseeding occurring as well. We are just moments away from kicking things off. I'd like to bring in Ryan, of course, who's going to be covering me for all of this, giving us the real good play-by-play. Ryan, how we doing?
Doing great. I'm excited for this. Kind of wish that there was something like this when I was around, but
sure.
Yeah, no, this is something exciting for the athletes, I think. Just like seeing by the marathon sports tents, you see chairs with athletes' names, and they get a bunch of gear. Like, that's something special to be a part of as a elite distance runner here in the state of New Hampshire. And of course, thanks to Hoka and Marathon Sports for providing said gear,
yes,
as well as sponsoring today's meet. You guys can see down at the center of the field a giant Hoka chair, which is the first time I'm seeing it. But I've been told that it's not something new.
No, so actually the event itself, the BSR Elite events, is not new. What is new is the 800 to it. This is the third annual of it. It's been the mile the last couple of years. We've had a couple of different locations we've been in, and you know, one thing that was cool is, you know, we'd get spectators out onto the track for it, but there wasn't as many as you wanted for it. So today, this is going to be a pretty awesome occasion where we're able to get a number of the spectators here because of all the other events going on. You know, these are all track nerds, distance nerds, if you will, who are just going to, you know, they're excited to see some of this stuff. So hopefully it brings a bit more excitement to those races. Not that they weren't exciting to begin with, but I know, you know, I've been at it the last couple of years, and it's been a pretty fun event, pretty cool to see. You know, a lot of people. My favorite thing to do is watch them as they cross the finish line, because for most of them, it's going to be a PR.
Yep.
Now, what's interesting about this year is it's a night meet. You know, try and get a little bit cooler temperatures. As luck would have it, the temperature is just warming up as we go, and the action on the track is just going to make things even hotter. So definitely looking forward to that. We have a 5 o'clock start for our first event. I see athletes on the infield. I believe we're going to start off with a bunch of boys miles. There's a few more boys miles than girl mile heats, so we will do our boy miles, and then once the heat numbers are even, we'll swap between boys and girls. If I recall correctly, you're the one looking at the schedule, so.
Yep, I am looking at, I mean, both sides. I'm seeing 7 heats for the boys so far. For the girls, I think we're seeing 4 heats for the girls, so it's definitely less. So I think we'll probably go through 3 heats of the boys. Yeah. If that seems about right, and then we'll, as you said, switch over to going back and forth between girls and boys. And then, yeah, so part of the New Hampshire Festival is going to be also the 5Ks as well. So we have 7 boys miles and 4 girls miles.
So I know Chloe Trudell just entered the booth. A Sauhegan alum, currently goes to UConn. So she's up for the event. She's going to sing our national anthem tonight. Yep. So we'll have to bring that audio in. Won't have video. She's being smart, hiding in the booth actually next to us, and we don't have a camera on ourselves tonight.
Nope. Yeah, we always stay hidden.
But Chloe, of course, had a very strong career here in New Hampshire. And
she sure did.
Again, this was our home high school, and I've been told she's got a pretty good voice. So looking forward to getting the action going.
Yeah, we're about 1 minute away.
Well, I think we'll get a national anthem first. I know we're still warming up. We'll take a quick look at our finish line, and we can see that not a whole lot going on right there yet. No one lined up just yet. But we do have, looks like some guys in line on the infield. just out of view of our camera. They're getting their hit numbers. Go ahead and do our best to bring in our public address commentary, see how well we can get that in.
Of the boys mile, and then we'll be alternating girls and boys heats. The Bay State running elite races will take place starting at 6:40. That will be after we get all of the miles done. After the Bay State running elite races will be followed by the girls 5K and the boys 5K. More importantly, live results can be found at upstarttiming.com. We are very fortunate to have Sauhegan alumni Chloe Trudell, who happens to be the 2021 New Hampshire Cross Country Runner of the Year and is now running for the University of Connecticut to sing our national anthem. Thank you, Chloe.
All right, again, that was Chloe Trudell with a fantastic job there. Well done. I'm speechless at this point. So pretty good, and that means we are moments away from getting started.
Yep. So again, we can kind of start taking a look here at our upcoming boys miles.
Now our 7 boys heats. The first 3 heats of boys will go first. Then we'll do the first girls heat, then a boys heat, girls heat, boys heat.
So as we see from here from our PA announcer, we've got the first 3 heats of the boys mile coming up.
There has been some reseeding. If you have any questions about that, check in at the tent. Also track.
Girls, boys, and so on and so forth.
Parents, teammates, etc., can all be down on the track to cheer people coming in at the finish. So anywhere on this side of the hurdles, all the way along the straightaway, athletes and parents and all spectators are allowed.
Now we're having a little bit of a pitcher issue right now, but we're working to get that sorted for you. Okay, there we go. We got picture back, audio back. Sorry about that. Not quite sure what happened, but hopefully we won't run into any issues like that again. And good news is no action was missed during it.
It's a good time for it.
Yeah,
if it's going to happen.
I'll take it.
All right, well, as I was saying, we're going to have the first 3 heats of the boys going first. So the first heat coming up is going to be Spillane from Sauhegan, Cousins of Oyster River, Sanders of Sauhegan, Donovan of Co-Brown, Morton of Messina, Gleason of Co-Brown, Barton of Alvern, Lewicki of Milford, and Allen of Oyster River in the first heat. And of course, we are going slowest to fastest.
Track is the first heat out of 7 of the boys 1 mile.
So you can see there, first heat of the boys mile.
Lyle Cousins from Oyster River, Jonah Saunders from Sauhegan, Crew Donovan from Co-Brown, Tom Moran from Messina, Caleb Gesslin from Co-Brown, Drew Barton from Alvern, Cameron Lewicki from Milford, and Nate Allen from Oyster River. That is the first heat of the boys 1 mile. Note, it is a 1 mile that we're running. It is not the 1600 that is run.
So a true mile today.
Yep, so extra 9 meters.
9 meters longer than the 1600.
So, I don't know. Gonna make it tough with those extra 9 meters than they're used to.
Have you ever run a true mile?
I actually have not. I am supposed to be a distance runner, but I've yet to run a true mile.
You've avoided
at
it.
any point. I have been, I don't know. I have, for whatever reason, fate has not let me run it. I was supposed to so many times, but it just never happened. The amount of times I've gotten rained out in the outdoor 1600 and then college, it just wasn't meant for me, I guess.
So we can see our start list on screen now. You can see at the bottom, upstart timing. That's where you're going to go for your live results. They do have live results. Of course, we will be showing you the times on screen and reading through them as well.
Yeah, you can also go over to athletic.live and find today's live results there.
I know it's always interesting how people kind of tune into this. I've been told some people will, do it while driving, which means they're just getting the audio only, so it's like a radio version. So we try and be respectful of that as well, and sometimes read what you can also read for yourself on the screen, getting all those people accounted for. And this is good, though. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. Again, I've never been to something like
Distance
this. That's
festival?
just a pure distance. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been to meets where they have a mix of a bunch of different events. I mean, you've got some 400s and whatnot, but this one purely distance 800 and up. You don't see anything like that.
I know.
Anywhere.
Tomorrow night, Weston Twilight, down in Weston, Mass, they have the meet so big it's split upon 2 different venues. We'll be down there tomorrow as well.
We sure will.
One of them is kind of the sprint side, and one's the distance side. I've always covered the distance side. So I've been to a kind of distance-only meet.
Yeah.
But all right, we've got our first command given.
Here we go.
We are underway. First heat, boys, 1 mile, and this is our first ever.
Girls heat in the mile. Following those heats will be the Bay State running elite races. In that, will be a girls mile, a boys mile, and a boys 800. In those races will be all of the top Scholastic runners from
All right, we can see our leaders there. We can see our camera there.
Some of you just arriving also know people are down on the track. That's okay to do here. All we're running is distance events. The hurdles are set up so you can be right down, cheering them on along the last straightaway if you want.
So 200 in, we look like we are single file, spread out a little bit here for our first heat.
It looks to be Spillane up at the front for Sauhegan. So top seed coming in is Spillane at 6:20.
Second heat, the boys should be checking in on the incoming.
Yep, so it's Spillane followed by his teammate Saunders.
The boys.
That looks to be Cousins and Barton. So there's your top 4 in this heat right now.
And that is Barton moving to the shoulder. Tried to move up, didn't quite get there, but early still in a good spot moving forward.
Looks like we're right around 132.
You can see our clock is slightly different than that one. We'll have to figure out which one is the more accurate of the two. I believe ours should be. The one on the infield might be done manually, but we'll see as the race progresses and as the night progresses.
So far, that's still your pack of 4, Spillane, Cousins, Saunders, and Barton. They went through just over 6-minute pace, so I believe about 6:08. It looks like we have one runner on an island trying to catch up to that chase group. I believe that's either Donovan or Giesland.
I tell you, our top 4 look like they're getting a little bit closer together.
That's actually Morin and Messina trying to close into that top pack. Spillane still in control up at the front, followed by a pack of 3 of Cousins, Saunders, and Barton. But that pack of 3 are closing the gap on Spillane. Went through at about 3:13 to the 800. So definitely dropped off a little bit from that first lap.
Again, these 4 kind of staying as is, but we can see number 5 now in view. As you said earlier, he's on an island. Well, he's not anymore.
Nope, he's closed the gap. That's Morin from Messinic.
Going to be on their shoulder for the turn.
Only 2 sophomores in the group. That's Cousins from Oyster River and Morin. So. And now we're all stringed up along 5. So it's currently Spillane, Saunders, Cousins, Barton, then Morin, all in that order in that front 5.
And as they come onto the straight, we can see just how far out in front they are from that second pack.
Yep, that second pack. He's got a line of 4.
So there's our bell, first bell of the day.
Yep, went through at 4:51 through 1200. So let's see how they close. See on the bottom left corner, the second group coming up to their bell lap.
Going to make for an interesting finish.
Yeah, I mean they're all packed up right there. Spillane and Saunders, the 2 teammates. Saunders moving up ahead of Spillane, followed by Cousins.
It's funny, if the 2 teammates wanted to right there, they could have worked together side by side, keeping everyone back.
Yep.
But
nope, Saunders looks like he's just gonna take it up for himself. Cousins moves up into second ahead of Spillane, followed by Barton and Morin. So we're closing in final 200, coming into the final 150 here. See who's got the kick to finish this first heat off. Saunders looks to be good 5 meters ahead, but it's gonna be Barton.
Oh, here's
with
the kick.
Barton moves well ahead. Now Morin moving ahead into third. He's got to try to catch Saunders, but it's gonna be Barton. Goes around 6:12 or 6:15. We'll see what the official time is.
6:12:24.
So it looks like our clock is
There you go.
the one that's right on. So 6:12:24 for Barton. Saunders, 6:14:28. Morin, 6:14:54. Spillane, 6:15:54. Cousins, 6:15:92. As now we have the rest of our finishers coming in. It's a battle
Good kick
for
there.
6th. But it looks like it's going to be Milford's Lewicki coming in for the finish, followed by Donovan of Co-Brown. Lewicki, 6:45:51. Donovan, 6:47:73. And it's going to be followed by Allen and Giesland. Allen, 6:57:84.
Boys eat 3 and girls eat 1.
And Giesland, 6:58:23. Everybody all under 7. The slowest seat time coming in was 7 minutes. So everybody.
Well, I
beat
tell
that
you, it was
last
interesting.
seat
It was
time.
interesting to watch because the clock that all the athletes see,
Yep.
it's a few seconds behind.
Right.
So they're looking at it. They're booking it, trying to get under that 7-minute mark, and little do they know they'll had it by a couple of seconds.
Right.
But so our clock is directly with the timer. The clock on the field, I'm betting, is a hand time start, but I'm betting it will get a little bit more accurate as the night progresses. And as the night progresses, we can see Heat 2 is on the track already.
Sure is. We've got 10 boys on our list here. We have Champney of Winnacunnet, Muldoon of Winnacunnet, Griffith of Alvern, Canoyer of Oyster River, Nato of Co-Brown, Pomperadit of Oyster River, Howard of Portsmouth Christian, Toy of Oyster River, Corrigan of Sauhegan, and Pisinski of Sauhegan.
And again, if you are tuning in looking for a particular athlete of yours, obviously we welcome you to watch the entire meet. But if needed, you can head on over to Upstart Timing and find all of your start lists there. That way you know exactly what heat they are in. And as we see, we are in Heat 2. Starter looks like ready to take this off. As all the guys lined up, they are in position. Might be double checking some numbers in the line. Again, 16:09 to get to the finish. True mile here as the gun goes up on heat number 2. And they are off. Clock on the track looks good this race.
Yep, sure does. And I was going to say, this is actually really interesting to see all 3 divisions for New Hampshire compete together before Meet of Champions. I mean, we kind of saw that at when we were at
get that.
Blackboard. We kind of get that here and there, but I feel like this is like full on. You get a good mixture of all 3 divisions here.
There's various meets, various invites throughout the season where you do get that. But you know, I mean, this is event specific, so you're right on that.
Second heat of the boys, 1 mile. The heats are all seeded, so each heat should get faster than the one before.
Going to go ahead and give a shout out to someone, Stephen Fiselli, who has been doing the Hoka Elites. Not here tonight, but always does a phenomenal job. Was over across the coast, I believe, this past week, and that's how good of an announcer he is. But we do have Larry Martin in the house, Larry Legend, so always good to hear from him as well. I feel privileged to know Larry and Steve, as they are both titans in the industry. As we've got our first lap.
Yep, that looks to be Champney and Canoyer 1 and 2, followed by Muldoon. And that looks to be Griffith of Alvern, I think, in 3rd. Or in 4th, excuse me. Nope, that's actually Howard of Portsmouth Christian, followed by Griffith. So those are your 4, but it looks to be Champney and Canoyer kind of out on their own away from that chase pack.
Yeah, definitely a gap has opened up. We see that gap from 1st to 2nd. The same is true from 2nd to 3rd, and then some. Again, as you just look around this facility, you're seeing that Hoka Marathon Sports all over. Huge shout out to both Hoka and Marathon Sports for putting this event together, helping to get this event together, I should say. Definitely a lot of work went into it. Some other individuals as well we might hear more about as the evening progresses. I see some shade over in that corner. And with the sun out and beaming down, I bet you that corner feels real nice to get to. And as the evening progresses, hopefully we'll lose that sun, cool down a little bit. Definitely a warmer one.
So Champney coming through 239 through the 800. That's Canoyer 244. Then the chase pack being led by Griffith, which also has Pop Radit. It actually looks to be quite a few in that group in the chase. So top seed in this heat, 545, all the way up to 610. Actually, just see Champney kind of give a wave over there, so he seems pretty relaxed.
Yeah, he looked over his shoulder once or twice.
Yep.
I think he just got some coaching over there.
Yep, he's looking over his shoulder. He's trying to see how much of a comfortable lead he can build, which he seems to be doing a pretty good job at it. He's got a little over 50 meters on Canoyer.
He's looking comfortable too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just a nice stride, not really pushing it too. He picks it up a little bit there.
Yep. Good place to pick it up for the mile. 3:58.
Then in the next group, almost all of them are freshmen. It's like the freshman championship race right here.
If you can hear our public address announcer, Larry, mentioning just how many of these guys are freshmen is quite a cool experience where, you know, you're running against everyone else your age, your grade. You don't get at a whole lot of meets.
Right. Yeah, you kind of see who's around your pace. You can see who you'll be racing against probably for most, if not all, of your high school career. Clock around 4:40 as Champney comes around the final 200.
See if he tries to pick it up just a little bit more. As he does enter our final straight. And I tell you what's nice with this shot, as we can see, we've got some fans starting to line the track there, which is absolutely what we want to see. Very rarely do you get the privilege of cheering from, you know, lanes 3 or 4, whatever it is.
Yeah, you don't really get to the advantage of getting that close on a track for these events.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, 5:23 unofficially for Champney.
Good, strong finish here.
Yep.
For Oyster
Canoyer, followed by Griffith. Then it looks to be potentially NATO.
So we can see sometimes there, Champney, like you said, 5:23.50. Canoyer, Oyster River, 5:35.99. Griffith of Alvern, 5:39.59. NATO of Co-Brown, 5:45.36. Prompt Radit of Oyster River, 5:47.05. Howard of Portsmouth Christian, 5:49.58. Muldoon, Winnacunnet, 5:54.94. Toy Oyster River, 5:59.25.
Now we go almost everybody under 6 there.
Coming out on the track is the third heat of the boys.
We have Pasinski 6:09.25.
We'll alternate through the miles.
I believe we should have one more. Oh, actually, that will be it. That's going to conclude Heat 2. We have our final heat of boys before we start intermingling the girls.
I'm fine.
So Heat 3, we have Buttrick of Messinic, Lay of Pinkerton, Griffin of Pinkerton, Howard of Portsmouth Christian, Conforti of Sauhegan, Beckman of Co-Brown, Crawford of Messinic, Raymond of Nashua North, Goodridge of Co-Brown, Gom of Winnacunnet, Griffiths of Messinic, Hamlet of Portsmouth Christian, and Michaelides of Portsmouth.
Got a pretty full line on this one.
Yep, looks like 13 on our list.
That's
Looks
how
like-
many I'm
yeah,
counting.
that's how many I'm counting as well. Looks like we've got our starters going to get ready to go. And top seed here is 523, all the way through at 540, and we're off.
Here we go.
Heat
Heat number three.
For boys, 1 mile.
We were right on it.
So what's really cool as we see, we keep seeing heats with different teammates in it, is because you're limited in the number of events. You're talking about the mile and the 5K. All of your distance kids, they're going to this meet, and they're all running the same thing.
Yep.
And, I mean, for a coach just to get that data, those benchmarks, I feel like that's pretty valuable information.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think mile and 5K are basically your top events that you want to get benchmarks in. Like, you can totally base off any training off of a mile, off of a 5K. That's absolutely important to find out for coaches as well as athletes.
Well, we've got a good surge here as we get to our 300-meter mark in this 16:09.
And looks like these guys are really going for it. So that looks to be Gom of Winnicunnet taking the lead, followed by two Pinkerton athletes, Lay and Griffin. And followed by, that looks to be Howard of Portsmouth Christian. So that's your top 5. See how everything splits up, but it looks like our chase pack is going to be 4 there. It's going to be Messinas Crawford and Raymond right behind Howard. Actually, now looks to be Crawford in front of Howard.
These guys definitely battling up front.
Yeah, so now it looks like one of the Pinkerton boys have taken the lead ahead of Gom. Gom seated at 5:31.52, so seems like he's run a mile before.
Dom from Winnicunnet, Lay from Pinkerton, Griffin from Pinkerton.
So that's Griffin up front, followed by Gom, and now looks to be, actually that's Buttrick now moving ahead of Gom, and Lay is following suit. So now your order is Griffin, Buttrick, Lay, and Gom. So we're coming through at about 2:36 through the 800. You can see there, that's going to be Howard, followed by Raymond and that chase pack. And they've all grouped up together to work together. Looks like we can see Griffin and Buttrick working side by side. Griffin moving ahead, Buttrick moving ahead. Lay trying to get himself back in the mix up front. Gom has fallen off a little bit here, as we're now have 600 to go. Buttrick looking over his shoulder a little bit.
Yeah, definitely takes a look back as he enters onto the straight, seeing if he's expanded that lead after passing. And it looks as though he is continuing to expand his lead. Use yards instead of meters, and we can see it's over 10.
There we go, he's looking back, 3:54 at the bell lap.
See a good group of guys going through the line. Big pack there. They're going to push each other.
Yep, but it's going to be Griffin.
He keeps looking back.
Yep, he's got to keep looking forward. He's not too far off. Definitely within closing distance. Griffin is looking down his legs, though, so he's definitely tiring out. Lay is closing in on his own teammate, though. So Lay could sneakily come in. I think Griffin is dying out a little bit here. Might have taken off a little too soon.
Gap's pretty big, though. We'll see
Yep.
what Pinkerton has left, and I say Pinkerton because I think either one of them, you know, might have a little something.
Yep. I don't know. Lay looks like he's got something else coming down straight away.
Well, from third to second.
Yep. Yep. Griffin now going to the arms, trying to outkick Lay. I think he's going to be able to get him. Yep. 5-14, 5-15 unofficially for Buttrick.
It's going to be 5-15-31.
Then 5-15-66 for Lay. Griffin 5-19-66. Crawford 5-27-31. Howard 5-28-42.
The second girls heat can check in at this time, please. The second girls heat. Again for spectators.
We've got the rest of the field coming in.
All of the day's races
And we have
are being live
Beckman
streamed
5-33-17.
on timing.com. As a race finishes, all the results are posted right there. Up, start,
Michaelides 5-37-09. Goodridge 5-39-52.
Looks like we just got a cloud blocking the sun.
Cool down a little bit.
Should help. And first girls heat.
Yeah. Get the rest of these results here. 5-39-99 for Conforti. Switching back and forth up on our screen. Raymond 5-42-31. Griffiths 5-44-69. I think that's going to conclude our results. Oh, actually, we've got a few mixed in here. Gom 5-30-64. Then Goodridge 5-39-43. 52, excuse me. I think that'll close it out there, as we will move on to our first heat of the girls' mile. And from here on out, we will be switching back and forth between girls and boys. So now, first heat of the girls, we have Stringer of Winnicunnet, Zadakis of Co-Brown, Bernard of Sauhegan, Perrin of Co-Brown, Verway of Oyster River, Sawyer of Co-Brown, Hanscom of Co-Brown, Ballantine of Alvern, Burke of Co-Brown, and Woods of Alvern. So mainly a Co-Brown dominated heat, but good mixture of some teams here.
Hi guys, we do have a moment. Once again, this is our first annual New Hampshire Distance Festival. We've got our miles going on right now. After the miles, we're going to switch meets. It's a meet within a meet, and we're going to have our third BSR Elite events. I'll start those off with the 800 and then, of course, the miles as well. Should be pretty good as we've got Heat 1 for the girls on their way.
There we go. So it looks like Stringer's going to be taking it out. Will mention that since this is the first, the fastest time for each event is technically a meet record.
That is true.
Yep, so that will be the precedence to beat.
I mean,
in
we're
the coming
getting
years.
we're getting a meet record every heat.
True. We are currently making history every single heat. You're right.
Haven't announced it yet, but we will. So as we see this first heat of girls kind of string out, we've got a grouping of 3 drop back a little bit and then single file.
Yep, so that looks to be Stringer leading the way, and then 2 Co-Brown girls. Will wait till we get around to see which 2 they are, but it looks to be Co-Brown 2 through 5.
So again, got our miles going on now. I think about 7 more heats of it between girls and boys, and then it will be our boys 800. Intro start approximately 6:40. It's a rolling schedule, so we'll see what time they do come across, but approximately 640 if you're looking for that.
So right now, Stringer, then Zadakis, then Sawyer are your 1, 2, and 3, followed by Hanscom, then Perrin, then the 2 Alvern teammates, Ballantyne and Woods, and then it's Burke. All in that order. Actually, throw in Verway between Burke and the 2 Alvern girls. So that looks like we've stayed the pace a little bit. Stringer's still out in front, being chased by Zadakis. Top C time, 6:35 for Stringer. And we have got a good mix of those who have run the mile before and those who are just being seeded today. So you never know what we're going to see here.
I'll tell you what we're seeing right now is we're seeing a move.
Yep.
A little bit of a lead change. These 2 out in front of everyone, probably 30-plus meters at this point.
So, again, that's Zadakis coming in 6:38.68. Just made a pretty good move. Looking to put a gap on Stringer, as those 2 have put a gap on the rest of the pack. Again, that's Sawyer in 3rd. Followed by, I believe, Perrin. And they're now closing the gap on 3rd, so now we have a pack of 4 in the chase. So it's Sawyer and Perrin in the chase pack, followed by Verway and Hanscom. And now a quick move over by Perrin, switching off ahead of Hanscom. Or sorry, ahead of Sawyer. But still, Zadakis taking the lead in this heat. Looking smooth. Coming up on 600 to go. Again, it's Zadakis followed by Stringer. We've got a battle for 3rd between Verway and Perrin. Verway taking the lead. But right now, Co-Brown up front. And it's Co-Brown 4 through 7. And now we can see Zadakis coming on the final straightaway into the bell lap.
Again, this is heat 1 for the girls, means she will get the first bell on the ladies' side.
See what she comes through in. Given the bell, and she comes in around 4:58. Followed by Stringer. Man, 5:05.
Girls, heat 2, please check in. Girls, heat 2, check in on the infield, please.
You can see she looked over her shoulder once. Get a gauge as to where second place is. Can see if she continues to take a peek. I know she's got some teammates coming up right next to her, hopefully not only giving positive encouragement, but also saying, hey, you got 30 meters.
Yep. Looks like Stringer is trying to pick up the pace a little bit, but I think Zadakis has a pretty good insurance for her. And then Stringer has about, let's say, another 60, 70 meter gap on Verway of Oyster River. So his field's pretty spread out. Nobody really closing in. Looks like the 2 Alvern girls are working together in the back. But otherwise, it's pretty strung out.
Not terribly surprising for the first heat of it to be strung out. You know,
Yeah.
I think as we kind of continue through them, they'll get a little bit closer and competitive. But we do have a pretty strong kick looking here.
Yep. Stringer is trying to close in Zadakis. I don't think she sees her coming.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Stringer closed the gap to finish this one.
Got that extra gear going. And I tell you, as soon as you get shoulder to shoulder, like you can't.
Yep.
You already got that momentum going.
Yep. It's hard to kind of pick that up and respond. So Stringer takes that one around 6:38.
No official time yet. We'll get that as soon as we can.
So again, unofficially around 6:38 for Stringer.
And official time is going to be a 7:04:17. Perrin of Co-Brown gets second with a 7:10:93. Sawyer 7:13:31. Hanscom
I think we're missing
7:18:98.
the first two.
And I'll take your.
Yeah, I think Verway should have been third.
Well, I'm sure everything will get sorted
It'll
out.
be sorted out, yep, but I think we're looking at 3 and below right now.
So position will change, but the times next to the names shouldn't. As we see our next seated guys getting onto the track, it will be heat number 4.
I'm going to make a prediction. No one in this heat has ever broken 5 minutes in the mile. That's a big breakthrough for athletes. I predict the winner of this will break 5 minutes, as long as we help cheering them on along the straightaway.
All right, so heat 4 for the boys. As Larry just said, nobody's under 5. We are number 1 seed, Hill of Newmarket, seed at 5:01, followed by Glacier of Co-Brown, Sousa of Co-Brown, Holt of Portsmouth Christian, Champney of Winnacunnet, Lamb of Oyster River, Kirby of Milford, Ellie of Oyster River, Burke of Souhegan, Brown of Pinkerton, Conforti of Souhegan, and Jaggers of Portsmouth.
And we can see that those top times did get updated. So Stringer 6:39:60 to win it for Winnacunnet. And Zadakis had a time in there as well, but we're moving on to the boys. So we can see that list scrolling. You already introduced them. We're ready to go.
Yep.
Heat number 4.
Let's
See
go.
what these guys can do.
And as Larry said, let's see if we get our first sub 5.
If they get sub 5, it's going to be a meet record.
That's true. Again, we have 7 heats for the boys, so we are on heat 4 of 7. We have 4 heats for the girls. So we have 3 left on each side after this. We're waiting on a timer.
Be my guess based on the official looking over.
Yep.
All right, got the A-OK. Guys going to the line.
Oh, we have to have him
And
step back.
All right, first command on your mark.
All right, take 2. There we go.
Here we go.
Second time's a charm. We're off.
Looks like Co-Brown out to the early lead, both 1 and 2.
Yep, that's Sousa
Brady Holt
taking
from
off.
Alexander Chemney from Winnacunnet. Simon Lamb from Oyster River. Colin Kirby from Milford.
Again, this isn't surprising if these guys are trying to go sub 5.
Keenan Burke from Souhegan. Parker Brown from Pinkerton.
And now that rest of the pack is strung out and caught up with Sousa.
And Wilson Jaggers from Portsmouth.
Yeah, I know those Co-Brown boys got some coaching over on that corner.
Yep.
You can see their coach, Tim Cox, also one of the meet directors.
We are going to have them do it tonight.
So again, Sousa and Glacier, 1 and 2 right now, following a group of 4, and it's kind of split from there just a little bit. Look to see who we have in this pack. So it looks to be Kirby in 3rd, Hill in 4th. Jaggers in 5th. And Lamb in 6th.
72, that's under a 5-minute pace right now. 72 at the 400.
72 is pretty good through the 4. Let's see if they can keep this up. Again, Sousa and Glacier, I assume pretty good training partners together, as Glacier is not right on the tail of Sousa. So again, Sousa, Glacier, then Kirby, 1, 2, and 3, followed by Hill of Newmarket. Hill comes in with that #1 seat time. Again, it looks like most of these seat times were set. So now we split into a top 4, the chase pack. Sousa and Glacier, the 2 teammates leading. Kirby and Hill. Then it's going to be Holt of Portsmouth Christian. Actually, nope, that's going to be Jaggers of Portsmouth.
Move being made here.
Yep. So big move by Kirby, now moving up front.
They're going to break 5. They're going to have to pick it up a little bit.
Yep. So we're now over 5-minute pace, 2:35. You can see why Kirby made the move. He probably saw the clock.
Front group ought to be working it.
You can see that front group will switch back over.
Again, if these guys did their studying, they saw that there's a 5:01 in here. So the chase to go under 5 still there. The Co-Brown boys took back over Kirby. Sousa, then Glacier. Kirby, then Hill. And we have a good pack of 3. Portsmouth Christian's Holt moving up in front there over Jaggers, as well as Lamb right along there.
Yeah, definitely a good battle as they come off the turn.
Yep, we'll have to see what they come through in with a lap to go. Kirby now back at the front ahead of the Co-Brown boys. And now Glacier has moved ahead of Sousa. Coming through at around 350.
They're going to need a 70-second last 400.
70 seconds.
It's doable.
Doable, but tough. 70-second close is definitely no joke. Like to see it, though. They are picking it up. Kirby and Glacier. Glacier picking up his stride.
These guys have been going back and forth. We can see the pass again,
Yep.
helping each other pick up that pace. I don't anticipate that being the last push between the two of them.
Nope. Sousa trying to work back up to those 2, followed by Hill. It's also a good battle between Holt and Lamb.
Great race coming into the last 100.
And it's a really good close from Holt. Holt closing in on Hill. Might try to move up to 3rd, but it's going to be Glacier. Really good kick pulling away from Kirby. We're not going to see a sub-5 in this heat.
457, 458, 459, 5 minutes.
So we're going to see 5:02 will be the winner here, followed by Kirby at 5:04.
Great race, gentlemen. Great
That's
race.
Sousa, and look at that. Holt moved his way well up into 4th. Glacier 5:03.61 officially. Kirby 5:05.78. Sousa 5:09.52. Hill 5:11.28. Lamb 5:11.41. Actually, should see Holt move up here. Ellie 5:15.70. Jaggers 5:19.33. Burke 5:24.96. So 1 through 3 is correct. Holt should be moving up to 40. 5:35.
Checking in should be the boys
44.
Heat 5. Boys heat 5 checking in. Girls heat 2 on the track.
As we wait for the rest of those results, going to quickly move on over to the girls' second heat. We've got Stewart of Portsmouth Christian.
Live results on upstarttiming.com.
And Stewart is the youngest here, 7th grade, according to athletic.live. Preston of Sauhegan. Dibias of Portsmouth Christian. Goldberg of Oyster River. Oliveira of Alvern. Schultz of Alvern. Johnson of Portsmouth Christian. Walker of Sauhegan. Bowers of Sauhegan. And Burt of Alvern. Stewart in 7th grade seated at 5:57. That's a pretty legit time.
Yes, seventh grade.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, we got 7th grade, 9th graders,
Yep.
juniors and seniors, sophomore in here as well. So we've got
Yeah.
a good mix of ages for this second heat of the girls 1 mile through 1 mile here, Sauhegan.
Yeah, Portsmouth Christian will allow their middle scores to kind of move on up.
Yeah.
Depending, and I mean, 557 seed is pretty legitimate to kind of move up into
Yeah.
the high school ranks.
We'll see what she can do with that.
Yeah.
Again, she is our top seed of this heat. And our second fastest seed in the heat is a freshman. Third fastest is a freshman as well. So
So I guess the question is, are we going to see sub-6 before you see sub-5 on the boys' side?
well, I think we're going to see there's a good chance for sub-6 this heat, and I'm thinking the next heat of boys will get
Heat
sub-5.
sub-5.
So I'd say within the next 2 races, we'll get one of those
We'll get- well,
barriers
yeah.
broken.
I'd assume so, but we wait for timers here. Looks like we are good. Oh, false alarm.
Just getting the infield clock reset for the ladies.
Psyched out our starter.
All right.
All right, now guns back up. There we go, and we're off. And without a doubt, Stewart going up with Preston. But it's going to be Stewart up at the front.
Can see Bella Preston in second. Home school. Talked about one of our meet directors last race, Tim Coxton. Talked about him all too much. I will mention Jeff Wilson, coach here at Sauhegan, be another of the meet directors. A lot of work behind the scenes, get this working. And of course, I'll also give a shout out to Dennis Shepard of Marathon Sports. Definitely helping things along as well. Good team effort. I was included in a lot of those conversations. I don't have much to say, though, but it's nice to be included with those names as they're pretty prominent in both New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
Yeah, again, as I walked around, they've done a lot of great work to set this all up with the banners across, and as well as getting those tents up for these athletes. Something pretty special.
I just
really,
love
to
I
set
love
up.
the fans on the track, you know, and I think as the races are going on, we see, you know, a few more join here and there, as we can see quite the lead now for Stewart in the first lap. That's Bella leading the second grouping. However, the Sadie of Oyster River does make the pass there, so now up in front of that. Again, I think saw the clock and
Yeah, we're at about 90 seconds already for Stewart.
opted to make moves, saying, "Yeah, we got to pick up this this grouping a little bit." Again, the 7th grader out in front right now.
She's around. She's right on 6-minute pace. So it looks like she's picked it up a little bit too.
Yeah. Sadie Goldberg out in second for Oyster River, the junior. She made that move on that pack, I think, once she saw a clock on it, and moved away from the pack.
Again, 130 is very much doable for this group. Again, 557, 6 flat, 605, 608. Those are your top 4 seeds. 130 is going to be, I'd assume, doable for this group. So makes sense for Goldberg to kind of work up to Stewart, but she's doing it a lot quicker than I thought she would. But might as well pick up that ground, just kind of stay relaxed and get right up on the shoulder of Stewart. As Preston leads the way on that chase pack. Here we go. So just going over that 6-minute mark. We're at 6:08 pace.
It's good math there. Did see Sadie close that gap. And our third grouping crossing the line is led by Josie of Portsmouth Christian.
So Goldberg is slowly creeping in on Stewart. Stewart still very much in control in the front.
Yeah, I
but
think
that gap is going to probably close coming into the final lap.
I'm thinking when they get to the line, they're going to be pretty close together.
Yeah. Yep, Goldberg was closing that gap pretty quick. Looks like she's held off a little bit just to reserve some energy. I think it's pretty smart. She's got the time to make up the gap without expending too much, and already she's got about 10 meters. Again, as you said before, that shade's looking pretty good for them in this corner.
I know if I'm on that back straight, I'm pushing a little bit to get into the shade, but we can see on our finishing stretch, not quite a finish yet, but our 7th grader still out in front.
Yep, looks like Stewart's picked it up. Goldberg's relaxed a little bit here. So the gap's opened up again. So now 4:36, 4:37. So she's got to close. In 80 to get to 6 minutes.
Again, that's Josie, followed by Victoria. And Liana, Emma in there as well. But yeah, this gap, it increased pretty significantly again.
Yep, and Stewart is closing very well. She's widening the gap on Goldberg. Goldberg also moving well, but Stewart's got great kick here, moving in. Final 200 to go. Coming in, last 120, 130. Coming along. Final straightaway.
7th grader from Portsmouth.
Now, sub-6 doesn't look fantastic, but it's not impossible where she's at. She's got her eyes on the clock.
She's got it.
56, 57, 58.
She's just barely.
She's going to make it interesting.
Yep. I think it's going to be 6 flat high. It's going to be my guess. Yep.
Nice.
Actually, 6 flat low. 6 flat 39. Again, 7th grader. That's moving. 6 flat 09 for Stuart Goldberg. 6'12", 53. Oliveira, 6'13", 85. DeBias, excuse me, 6'18" flat. Got the rest of the finishers coming in. That was Schultz at 6'29", 42. Then Johnson, 6'30", 23. Walker, 6'31", 73. Then Burt, 6'35", 73.
Heat 5 of the boys. Would heat 3 of the girls check in at this time, please?
I believe that's going to be Preston to finish off that heat at 6:52, 86. And now introducing our next heat of the boys. This is heat number 5. As we now have our first sub-5 seeded boys.
Got quite a few of them, too. 8 in total.
Yep. So we have Arnoldi of Sauhegan, Beidelman of Portsmouth, Femester of Bishop Girton, Jobin of Coe-Brown, Plowman of Coe-Brown, Zumbach of Winnacunnet. That's the younger Zumbach, not the eldest. Mann of Exeter, Dijak of Co Brown, Hayes of Pinkerton, Anderson of Oyster River, Riggett of Sauhegan, and Cotrill of Exeter. They're all 5 flat and under, actually.
Well, you got a
5 flat.
.24.
Sorry. Got to count the 2-4. Sorry, Cotrill.
Well, I tell you, those seeds mean that we got a good chance of majority of these guys, if not all of them, getting sub 5. I think with the weather, again, on the warmer side, thinking we'll get a few under, a few not. But everyone kind of dancing right around that line. We'll see where they end up. Again, we are looking at heat number 5 of the boys. 7 total. Well, we have a moment, and these guys win. We would like to thank you for tuning in. Of course, this is New Hampshire Track and Field as well as Bay State Running. We're doing a twofer tonight here because of Marathon Sports and Hoka. Huge shout out to them and appreciate all of you tuning in. I know there's another track event going on right now, something called Grand Slam Track. If you haven't checked it out, it's doing some good stuff for the sport. I think it's in its early stages. So definitely a cool event that's being put on. If you haven't heard about it, you should definitely check it out. But right now, obviously, you're in the #1 spot to be.
Oh, yeah.
All right, first command given, heat 5.
Here we go. We're off.
15 of the boys. Nikki Beetleman from Portsmouth.
That looks to be Femester of Bishop Girton out to the front,
From Bishop Girton, Ben Jobin from
followed by,
Co-Brown.
A sea of Co Brown.
Dylan Zumbeck
I think
from
that's
Plymouth Cummings.
Beidelman,
Spencer
followed
Mann
by
from Exeter.
Plowman of Co
Gavin
Brown.
Dijak from Co-Brown.
Then that looks to be
Sean Hayes
Mann of
from
Exeter,
Riker Anderson from Oyster River. Drew Reigot
followed by the next two
and Ian Cottrell
Co Brown
from
boys,
Exeter.
Jobin and Dijak.
One of the nice things about a meet like this, where you run
So
into
that's
one
looking
event,
at your
you're
top
able to
6
create
right
races.
there. It looks like we've got a good move by Zumbach.
Everybody is close. In this race,
Zumbach moving into 5th behind Mann and Plowman.
5 seconds apart. So their best times
Yeah,
are
these
in
top
there.
two kind of pushing away early. We'll see what happens. It's been pretty common theme tonight. You know, guys get around on their first lap, they get an eye on the clock, and oh, okay, I might need to move a little bit. But right now, we can see this is Braden out in front.
Yep, he's looking pretty good, and you also have Beidelman trying to stay along with him. So 72, so right along there for sub 5. But again, we saw that in the last heat. Let's see if they can keep this one up. Femester doesn't look like he's slowing down at all, so we'll see what the pace is going around 800.
Yeah, just looking at seed times, you know, you're talking about 5-second difference for everyone. Don't expect this gap this early, but a lot of these times I'm seeing .00. Pretty much no one's run the mile.
Yeah.
You know, you got some 1,600 conversions and some coaches saying, yep, this is where I want my guy seated. A lot of different heats, which means, you know, a little bit of play with that to put yourself up there. And
Yeah, you kind of get a mixed bag of a lot of runners to see what they all can do.
yeah.
See a lot of potential.
Yeah, no, it's good.
those.
I mean, you'll have some coaches that they look at their athlete and they'll cheat a little bit on the time, and some of them will be a little bit honest. And again, it depends on the coach, depends on the athlete.
Yeah, especially if you have an athlete that you really want to see push, you really kind of bump them up in that faster heat. But Femester, not messing around, 225. So we're looking right around 450.
Yeah, I mean, junior up in front, freshman in second. So junior, you can kind of get a little bit more experience would be the thought there. Has it, and we can see a decent gap there.
Yeah, he's got a good
probably 30-meter gap. But it looks like Zumbak is trying to close it. Along with him is Man, as well as one of the other Co-Brown boys. Man trying to make a push. Zumbak answers. Doesn't let him by.
As we get around this corner, we'll try and see if we can zoom out a little bit, get the extra battle happening, and look at that. I think we got Lars on camera. Shout out to Lars.
It's like, oh, we got a little trip up there from Plowman. I think that's Jobin of Co-Brown who's moving his way up. We'll have to wait for his number. But it's going to be a battle between Jobin and Zumbak in second, followed by Man. And then the rest of the pack not too far. 339, 340. Looking pretty good for Femester.
Pack coming through 345, 346.
And that indeed is Jobin of Co-Brown moving up into that chase pack. Moving in front of that chase pack. Zumbak is not giving up. He's got some good fight. Sticking right behind Jobin. Man trying to hang in there. But it's all Femester right up front. He's been leading the way, and he's taken this one.
As we take a look at this secondary battle here, you know, these guys are right together. This is a battle for second place.
Yeah. They're stride for stride. There's no pushing. Looks like.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there it is. Zumbak.
Nice
making a
move
push.
there.
Great way to make a push at the final 200, but was that too soon?
All right, we'll turn our attention to our leader now, Braden. 4:36 on the
Great
time.
kick. Yep. Eye on the clock for the first sub-5 mile today.
He's going to get it. Fans going to bring him in.
Yep, let's see how far under. 450, 451. Really nice.
Good
Well,
charge here.
Well, that was a huge move from the back.
I think we ended up with 4 guys there, sub-5.
Yep, that was Zumbak, and I was actually very much wrong about who was in front. That actually was Anderson.
Well, we do know that Braden there with a 451.73, Zumbak 457.60, Anderson 458.85, Jobin 459.51 for your guys under that 5-minute mark. Man, just missing it, 501.57. Riggett 504.76, Plowman 507.82 for your top 7 in heat number 5.
And we move right along over to our next heat of the girls, heat number 3.
Also want to thank Marathon Sports and Hoka for sponsoring this great night.
Heat number 3, we've got Curtin of Winnicunnet, Martin of Alvern, Murdo of Co-Brown, Lovett of Co-Brown, Ouellette of Winnicunnet, Kennedy of Souhegan, Smith of Souhegan, Sinclair of Bishop Girton, Caravan of Co-Brown, Hill of Co-Brown, and Short of Monadnock. And lots of Co-Brown on the girls' side also.
Yeah, I think they're one of the teams that said, hey, you know what? Let's bring our whole
Throw
distance
the
squad.
whole
Why
squad
not?
over, yeah.
Why would you not? I mean,
I know.
if you don't have another meet going on this weekend, and honestly, I didn't look at the full schedule for New Hampshire. I think this is the place to be.
For sure, yeah, especially, I mean,
If
for
you're on the
vacation-
distance side,
If
at
you're on the
least.
distance side, of course, yeah.
As a former jumper sprinter, probably not where I would be. Although I'd be here cheering on if I didn't have another meet going on. That's for sure.
Especially vacation week. I mean, I feel like there's not a lot of track action happening throughout this time.
The calendar was weird this year, so it kind of opened up this weekend, which is how the New Hampshire Distance Festival slid in. There's the 5 weekends in the month, so here we go. Looks like starters got the okay. Girls take the line.
Looks like we do have the
3
full.
girls, 11 girls in this, 15 seconds.
Yep, we do have the
separating
full
the
heat
slowest from
here.
the fastest on their seed times.
All of them entered under
Kelly
6
Curtin
minutes.
from Winnicott,
And
Ava Martin from Alvern,
of all our
Kate
races,
Burrow
this is
from
early. I
Alvern,
know only 100 meters in.
Annabelle
This is the
Lovett
closest
from
we've had.
Yep,
Dave Ouellette from Winnicott,
that's the most packed up we've seen, but I believe that is Murdo up front for Co-Brown. I could be wrong.
Anna Sinclair
2
from
Co-Brown girls up front, actually, so it could be more Murdo
Caribbean
and Lovett.
Co-Brown, Elise
1 and 2.
Hill from Co-Brown, and Emma Short from
So we've already split up into a top 5. Kind of a little bit of a gap between two groups. That could change.
See a watch check at that 200 mark. Figuring out how we're doing pace-wise.
Gauge the pace, see if anybody wants to try to take it out a little bit faster. See some movement from Alvern up in the 3rd. Now it's Sinclair, Bishop Girton now making a move up a little bit. And that is Lovett in the lead, followed by Murdo. And then it's Martin in 3rd, and then Sinclair now moving up shoulder to shoulder with Martin.
Couple big groups there as they approach their first lap mark. Get a good look at the numbers there. So we are seeing, as you said, yeah.
Looking for that 5th runner. So that's going to be Lovett and Murdo, 1 and 2, followed by Martin, Sinclair, and Willette.
Reminder, live results.
It looks like we've got a 6th runner coming in from Co-Brown. My guess is going to be Curvin or Hill. Actually, you have both Co-Browns moving on up, and now we have a full ducks in a row pack here.
Yeah, a little lead change as well.
Yep, so it's going to be Martin taking it up ahead of Lovett. Sinclair around the outside of Lovett, followed by Murdo. That's 1 through 4, and Willette in 5th.
Yeah, we had a couple girls make a move, and all of a sudden our pack of 5 isn't a group of 5 anymore. And
no, we've got a group of 7.
Although our number 1 sneaking away.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I'd like to see Lovett kind of stay up with her. They're trying to push this pace. Again, all these girls are seated sub 6. And our number 1 seed, Curtin, seated well under 6. 539 is number 1 seed. Again, if you're in 2nd, if you're Lovett, you want to move on up. Try to keep up on Martin, because she's looking to be right there. 252. You're still under, well under 6-minute pace. So that's exactly where you want to be. So if I were that chase back, I'd try to sneak up in here with Martin. I think the goal here is actually probably closer to sub 550 with some of these seed times.
Yeah, a little bit of a jump there. Again, our top seed is a 539 and a 540, so a few girls definitely want to be under that mark. Now the great thing about an event like this, you got some music going in the background, help you out a little bit. Can't do that at every meet, so it's good when you can. And that corner shade seems to be getting a little bit nicer as the sun is setting.
It's widening out a little bit. But Martin has built up a huge gap on the field coming into the bell lap.
Senior from Alvern High School. Seated at 540, she's on pace to break that.
You can see the duo from Co-Brown going across, followed by Bishop Girton, Co-Brown. I'll let you go
Sinclair,
through some names, yeah.
Yep, so we got Murdo and Lovett still in that chase, followed by Sinclair. And then Caravan has actually moved up behind Sinclair, followed by Willette, and the final Co-Brown girl, Hill. So pretty good placement for Co-Brown. 2, 3, 5, and now 6. 2, 3, 5, and 6 for Co-Brown. But it's going to be Martin going all the way, coming up on the final 150.
Yeah, she's picked it up a little bit. You can see that gap has expanded as we look across the track.
And
quite the distance.
She's got a chance to get under that 539 spot.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's not going to need to look over her shoulder.
Nope, she's got going a distance. Coming in great kick at the end, hitting 530. She's going to be well under 540. 536 unofficially for Martin.
Let's see, second.
That's followed by Lovett and Murdo and Sinclair.
Good battle there
So
for
Lovett.
third.
It's between Murdo and Sinclair, followed by Caravan and Hill. Then it's Short, followed by Willette.
And we'll give a shout out to Jay Smith there, just saw a photographer across our screen. He's going to have some excellent photos from the day, so you'll have to check those out again. NHStateRunning.net. We'll have that. NH.StateRunning.net. We'll have all of those photos if you're looking for them later.
Just had Curtin and now Kennedy crossing the line. Looking to see our results. Martin's official winning time, 5:36.89. Lovett, 5:49. 67 Murdo, 5:50.83. Sinclair, 5:51.93.
With the fourth heat of the girls, check in at this time, please. The fourth heat of the girls.
Caravan, 5:53.78. Kind of scroll through the rest of those results as we'll move right along to our sixth heat of the boys. Second to last heat coming up. So we'll announce those names. Get into some pretty fast times here. Everybody seated under 5. We got Clapp of Oyster River, Burns of North, Cipriano of Pinkerton, Skarupin of Milford, Poteet of Exeter, Whitley of Milford, Spencer of Sauhegan, Larson of Co-Brown, Dangora of Exeter, Brunis of Monadnock, Fox of Sauhegan, and Reeder of Profile. So good mix of all three divisions here.
Again, looking at heat 6 of 7 for the boys.
And tell just by seeing some names, we got some major, basically more 800 runners running mile in Scrupin and Whitley. Remember seeing them in their Milford's 4x8.
First command given, and they are off. Again, this is heat 6 for the boys. 1 mile here at the New Hampshire Distance Festival, Sauhegan in Amherst, New Hampshire.
That looks to be Cipriano taking the strong lead ahead of Clapp.
Girls heat 4.
I believe that's one of the Milford boys right behind Clapp. Two teammates have moved up, and that looks to be Co-Brown's Larson moved in to find his positioning, moving in ahead of one of the Milford boys. It's be North's Burns in 4th. We'll wait to see numbers come around to get some names here. So you got Cipriano and Clapp, 1 and 2. That's actually Poteet of Exeter in 3rd, followed by Burns. Then Larson. And then we have Whitley, then Skarupin. Skarupin moving
We're going
all the
wide.
way out.
I love it.
Good timing to make the move his way in. So now he is now 4th.
They'll be picking it up.
In 3rd. So that's going to be Clapp, followed by Poteet, then Skarupin, then Cipriano, 1 through 4. Skarupin moving into 2nd over to the shoulder of Clapp. He's actually going to take over pacing duties here. Cipriano moving up on the inside to be shoulder to shoulder with Poteet. Poteet holds him off. Cipriano seems to be working on that inside. Whitley now moving on the outside up behind Poteet. Skarupin's trying to pull away from the pack. I don't think they're going to let him get away too far, though. So now it's a good battle. Cipriano moving up ahead of Clapp. Keep up with Skarupin. Now Whitley going out wide, trying to move ahead of Poteet. Poteet's not letting any ground up to Whitley. This is a really good battle at the front. Skarupin, Cipriano, and Clapp, 1, 2, and 3. Poteet ahead of Whitley, followed by Burns and Larson. That's been the main group since the beginning. Now Cipriano moving ahead of Skorupin.
And definitely a good battle up front and secondary battles as well. All
Yes,
these guys kind of pushing each other back and forth. Keep seeing changes all over the place.
Yep, Cipriano and Skorupin battling 1 and 2. Clappin, that looks like Whitley. 3 and 4, Larson in 5, Poteet in 6, Burns in 7. Coming up on the final lap, it's Cipriano and Skorupin. Now Skorupin's got some pretty solid mid-distance legs out of him. Let's see if he can outkick Cipriano near the end. But coming up on 1 lap to go. 3:30 exactly. Clapp, then Whitley. Whitley moving ahead of Clapp. Then Larson, then Burns, then Poteet.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Yep, Skorupin moving back up ahead. Cipriano not going to let him. Skorupin still trying to fight for that placement. So it's really going to come down to who's going to tire the other one out sooner. And looks like Cipriano is trying to pull away. Skorupin's not letting him. Coming down to the final 200 kick. Skorupin's got the stride length. Pulling away. Cipriano is letting up ground to Skorupin.
Grant Skorupin from Milford.
And it looks like the 800 legs are going to kick in to finish this one off.
Grant floating to the outside of lane 1. He's got this one wrapped up. Good looking time as well.
Solid under 440. That's a good jump from the last one. Cipriano 441, 442, followed by Clapp. Getting away from Whitley. Then Larson. Skorupin official time 4:39.21. Cipriano 4:40.86. Clapp 4:45.24. Whitley 4:46.40. Larson 4:48.29. Reeder 4:50.79. Spencer 4:51.75. Burns 4:52.37. Brunias 4:59.01. Gonna close that up with the results for the boys, and we're gonna move on to our second to last heat of the girls. Or is it the last? This is the last. This is the last heat. Yep.
Heat 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Heat 4, and this is essentially our New Hampshire elite, so to speak. We've got Cross of Exeter, #1 seed, 5:15.36. Paterna of Exeter, 5:19. Griffith, 5:20 of Phillips Exeter. Murdo of Hopkinton, 5:25. Rove, 5:27 of Hopkinton. Kavanaugh, 5:30. McKenna, 5:32. Paul of Milford, 5:35. Roy of Oyster River, 5:35. Mallory of Phillips Exeter, 5:35. And Bezanson of Oyster River, 5:35.
Tell you, as this meet progresses, I'm getting more and more amped up for these. You know, getting faster and faster. Again, we've got our fast heat of girls out there now for New Hampshire Distance Festival. Still to come will be our BSR Elite 1 mile.
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing who we have in that race.
All right, guns up.
And we're off. Fastest heat of the girls' mile. Well, I'm pushing around for the girls clean, so won't call it back as the 2 Exeter girls take up to the front. 2 teammates, both sophomores.
Yeah, a little bit of shifting around in the back. Not quite single file just yet.
No, we're going to probably see a lot of movement. Another thing I will say is we don't always see a lot of meets where we get to see Phillips Exeter compete on these outdoor track meets. We see them a lot in indoor, but there's not a lot of times we see them in outdoor. So this is one of the rare few times that these New Hampshire schools get to see some competitors from Phillips Exeter.
Yeah, and Phillips Exeter usually has some pretty strong runners, at least their top few usually right in the mix. We've seen that for years now.
Yeah.
We always see them at Black Bear, and you know that's usually a good showcasing of of Phillips Exeter. But it's good to see them here as well as we are concluding our first lap of our girls' heat number 4. And no surprise of our leaders. They're in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now.
Yep, again, all seated under 530. Going through it around 79, 80. So we've got a good pack of 6, followed by a pack of 5 in the back. Cross and Paterna again, 1 and 2, followed by Griffith, Murdo, and Bove.
Mallory from Phillips Exeter and Haley Zanson from Oyster River. This is the seeded New Hampshire heat of the girls' mile.
And I believe that's Milford's Paul in the back of that 6. Could be wrong, but I believe it is. And jersey out in 7th, looking unfamiliar.
Get a good look at it as they come around.
So that's actually Newmarket. I think that's must be a new jersey for them, because that's McKenna of Newmarket.
Well, we do see Cross still out in front here. Paterna in 2nd. Griffith in 3rd.
So we got McKenna and Kavanaugh moving up to that lead pack. So now our pack of 6 has become a pack of 8.
244.
Going through pretty well. I see the last 3 there. It's Roy, Mallory, and Bezanson. So again, we're all strung out with 8 runners. Not a lot of movement. This is where we'll probably see some positional changes. Looking to see something happen in that pack of 5, maybe. Potentially have Bove looking to make a move. She's moving up on the shoulder of her teammate. So usually look to see something around the 600 mark. Again, Cross and Paterna, then Griffith, 1, 2, and 3, followed by Murdo and Bove.
Yeah, those top 5 pulling away ever so slightly.
Yep, McKenna's trying to get her way back in, followed by Paul and Kavanaugh. We're coming into our bell lap. As we see Phillips Exeter's Griffith moving out wide to Paterna. But Paterna's also moving up on Cross. As we still remain 1 through 5, no movement. So it's going to come down to the final kick, I'd imagine.
Yeah, these girls are on meet record pace. Of course, this is the first annual, hopefully first of many. Been a pretty fun event so far. These girls all kicking it in just a little bit more. You see that stride
Paterna and Cross are stride for stride. Paterna looks like she is trying to close the gap. Both runners have really strong kicks. Let's see what Griffith, Murdo, and Bove have in the final 200 also to keep up with these 2 Exeter girls. Griffith closing in 2. And now Murdo has moved away from her teammate Bove. So now we're up to 4. Paterna and Cross in the battle for first. Murdo has moved ahead of Griffith. She's now in 3rd.
Strong kick here.
Yep. Cross pulling slightly away from Paterna. Paterna trying to stick in it, but it's going to be Cross. Just barely 5:17. Just over seated time of 5:15:36. Great race and official meet record for Cross. 5:18:36. Paterna 5:18:59. Murdo 5:19:76. So 5:18:36 will be the marker for all future runners to strive for. Murdo 5:19:76, as I probably have mentioned. Griffith 5:21:13. Bove 5:25:78. McKenna 5:29:09. Kavanaugh 5:33:68. Paul 5:34:39.
And we've got our final heat of the boys 1 mile. Heat number 7
do.
entering the track now. After this, I'll let you read the names, but after this, we are switching meets, meet within a meet. We've got our BSR Elite events. We'll have our boys 800 followed by girls mile, then boys mile, before getting back to New Hampshire Distance Festival for some 5K action. But on the track now, boys, heat number 7 of our mile. Who we looking at?
So we've got few runners, 5 of them, seated under 430. We've got Yee of Phillips Exeter and Keel of Phillips Exeter, seated at 422 and 425. Peyton Jocelyn of Monadnock, seated at 425.64. Fisher of Bishop Girton, 427.48. Norda of Souhegan, 428. Corthals of Milford, 430. Kerouac of Co-Brown, 431.56. Dahlback of Kearsarge, 431.70. Dunning of Alvern, 432. Kesey of Oyster River, 435. Peters of Portsmouth, 435. Fisher of Bishop Girton, 435.71. And Youngs of Co-Brown, 436.12. We've got a pair of brothers in this heat. Carson
right.
and Ethan Fisher. Again, a lot of solid runners in this. A couple of, I think Dahlbeck was a divisional champion back in indoor.
Well, they are off. Heat number 7 for the boys. Final heat of the boys. 1 mile. It's our fast heat. We'll see if it lives up to it. And right now, looking at their start, I'm thinking it does. They are going out pretty hard here.
Yep, that's the 2 Phillips Exeter boys leading the way. Pretty sure that is going to be Yee and Keel, 1 and 2. That looks to be one of the Fisher brothers. And then that's going to be Corthals of Milford in 4. We'll have to see as they come around who the rest of the runners are. Potentially looking to see Norda probably move on up. He had a pretty solid race last week at Blackberry. It was one of the ones we saw last week. And then also have Dahlbeck. We also have Jocelyn in 5th behind Corthals. That looks to be Carson Fisher in 3, going up against those Phillips Exeter boys. Yee and Keel. That's actually Keel, then Yee. 1 and 2, followed by Fisher, then Corthals, then Jocelyn, then Dahlbeck, then Norda. Norda leading that chase pack, followed by Ethan Fisher, the freshman. But we've now strung out to 6 in the lead. So there's your top 6. Coming through, coming up on the 600 pretty darn quick. We're going through it around 137, 138. And they are moving. So no movement so far in that top 6. They are all grouping together now. Norda still leading the way. Next to be followed by Peters. Then Fisher. Then Kesey. These are your top 4 of that chase pack. Coming up. Coming up on 800. 212. So we're looking at 424. So just under that, just over that seat time actually. See that 422 is the fastest time. Fisher now moving on up to take over pacing duties. Like to see the aggressiveness. I see Yee moving on up, trying to keep up with Fisher. Jocelyn moving up on the shoulder of Keel. Dahlbeck has moved up with Jocelyn. Corthals in 6th.
Again, that top 6 is breaking away a bit from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 all as a pack, and a little bit more between 12 and 13.
Yep. Looks like Kerouac has moved up front, but it's going to be Fisher moving up to that front of that chase pack. Norda is going to be moving with Fisher. Carson Fisher is going to be challenged by Yee at the front, going into the bell lap. Yee now leads. 322.
Carson and Yee.
Jocelyn and Dahlbeck. Dahlbeck in 3rd, followed by Jocelyn, then Keel, then Corthals. Dahlbeck, indoor D2 champion, is now moving up with Fisher. Dahlbeck's usually one to take out the lead and push the pace, but he's been sitting in the back, has now moved up.
Surge there. Third to second.
Yep. Yee has now moved up in the front of Fisher and Dahlbeck.
See if anyone can respond to that. Right now, just keeping even, but we are going to be wide coming off of this final corner.
Fisher making a good move to slingshot around. Yee trying to push it. Carson looks to be having the stronger kick. It's going to be a battle for Dahlbeck and Yee. Dahlbeck getting ahead of Yee, but it's going to be Carson Fisher all the way. Coming through 426, 427. Dahlbeck 428, Yee 429. Those three definitely under 430. Well done by those three. We started out with 5 seated under 430. We get at least 3 of them. Maybe Jocelyn as well. Fisher 426.67. Dahlbeck 427.76. Yee 428.72. Jocelyn will get under 430. 429.72. Korthal's just misses it 430.40. Kerouac 432.87. Keel 432.94. Norda 434.16. That's your top 8. Fisher 436.14. Top 9 of your boys' fastest heat for the New Hampshire Distance Festival. So that'll conclude the first part.
Yeah, part 1 done, which means we've got our BSR Elite events coming up, starting with the boys 800, then on to girls mile and the boys mile. This will be the 3rd time running those miles, first year for the 800.
Yep. And we're only going to have 1 heat for the boys.
A boys 800, a girls mile, and a boys mile. These are for the
And I think
Scholastic runners
to kind of bring it all in, introduce it, we will, for introductions, shift things over to our public address announcer. He's got some good information on all the athletes, so we will make that switch over as soon as those intros are ready. 6:36 is what I'm seeing. We had a rolling schedule with a start of 6:40 for that boys 800, at least the intros. So we should be getting those in just a moment, probably this close. We'll stick to that time schedule. All those guys.
So we will have a pacer for this Elite 800. So it looks like we're going to have hip numbers be put on and then intros that will be coming up from close to the 100-meter start line. Again, we'll send it over to Larry, our PA, once we are ready for that. But again, we will have a pacer for this 800, which will be great for a lot of these athletes. Their pace will be set for, I believe, around 52-53. So they're going to be going out pretty quick from what I've heard.
Yeah, should make for
information.
Should make for a pretty good one here today.
So, yeah, I mean 52-53. That's pretty close to 150.
Ooh, you see that on your screen? You see a golf cart on the track.
They're
giving out some giveaways to the people who are on the side of the track, ready to cheer on the athletes.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people are spectating in person and watching, but if you are, get yourself trackside.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a surprising amount who are tuning in, as well as are here. But you never know. But if you are,
given my cell service, maybe not. But Guess I should have run down there and got a hat myself.
Yeah, I had the same thought. We quickly abandoned post and for a hat.
We are moments away from getting started with it, getting the intros going. And while we do have this time, once again, this is New Hampshire Track and Field as well as Bay State Running. Give me a little 2-for-1 action tonight, making sure we get all this coverage of the dual meet. Different meaning of dual meet, of course. Shout out to Marathon Sports and Hoka for their support of these meets. Again, this will be the first year for the 800, and I am pretty excited. You know, the miles the past couple of years have been quick. You drop down the distance a little bit. Should be pretty exciting. Love that we are adding in a different event. Oh, here we go. We got the stuff going out. We'll see if we can't get a different angle on this in just a moment.
Yep, they were repping the BSR jerseys.
Oh, those look nice.
Yeah, I know. I got a glimpse of them, and I didn't realize they would all be wearing them. I thought there was I thought just one guy was repping it. But yeah, we've got all runners repping the BSR jerseys. Look and see if we do have our pace route. And it looks like we've got our PA announcer. We're going to send it over to him.
August Deutsch, a senior from Austin Prep, Massachusetts. Next fall, he'll be going to Wesleyan University. He's a New England Prep champion in the 800. He's run a 49-second 400 meters, a 1:19 600 meters, and a 1:55 800 meters. Austin August Deutsch. Next, we have Matt McCabe, a senior from Marshfield, Massachusetts. Next fall, Matt will be going to Providence College. He was 4th in the 1,000 in the Mass All-State meet. He was then 7th in the distance medley relay at the New Balance Nationals. He's run a 1:55 800 and a 2:31,000. Matt McCabe. Next, we have Cole Francis, a senior from Narragansett, Rhode Island. Next fall, Cole will go to the University of Rhode Island. He's a Rhode Island state champion in the 1,000. He's run 1:55 in the 800 meters and 2:30 in the 1,000. Next, we have Altomo Askananashi, a senior from Brookline, Mass. Next fall, he's going to go to UMass Amherst. He's the Mass Division I state champion in the 1,000. He was 3rd place in the 1,000 in the Mass All-State meet. He's run a 1:55 800, a 2:31,000, and a 4:18 mile. Altomo. Next, we have Daniel Padley, a senior from St. John's Prep, Massachusetts. Next fall, Daniel will go to Holy Cross. He was 3rd in the 2024 Mass All-State meet in the 1,000. He's run a 1:55 800 and a 2:31,000. Next, I have Levi Harrison, a senior from Roxbury, Latin, Massachusetts. Next fall, Levi will be going to MIT. He's run a 1:54 800 and a 2:29,000. Levi Harrison. Next, I have Eamon O'Brien, a junior from LaSalle Academy in Rhode Island. He was a runner-up in the 600 at the Rhode Island State meet. He's run a 1:23 600 and a 1:54 800. Eamon O'Brien. Next, we have Lucia Gleiser from Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire, where he's a senior. Next fall, Lucian will be going to Georgetown University. He's a New Hampshire Division II state champion in the 1500, won 120 in the 600, and 153 in the 800. Next, I have Ryan Zumbach, a senior from Winnicott High School in New Hampshire. Next fall, Ryan will be going to the University of New Hampshire. He's a New Hampshire state champion in the 1000, 122 in the 600, 153 in the 800, and 230 in the 1000. Our pacer for this race will be Carmelo Vertigia from Dover, New Hampshire. Notice when I read those times with you, how close all of these athletes are together. The BSR Elite 800 meters.
All right, thank you, Larry. Yeah. Just moments away from this.
Yeah, and trying to see if I do see our pacer out there. He might be out in the end. I don't know if that's him though.
Looks like, yeah, hard to tell.
Yeah, again,
We'll find out soon
myself
enough.
being from Dover, I would think I should know one of our own athletes, but unfortunately, being too far, I have no idea. Here we go. Again, the pacer is supposed to be taking it out around 52-53, so that is actually him. Yep, he's out in the outside. So there he is. He is pacing them out. Let's see how well he does. Again, 52-53 was what I have overheard. Let's go 25. So
25 at the 200.
we're looking pretty quick here for this 800.
As they come around that turn, we can get a good look at
Looks
them.
like O'Brien moving ahead of our pacer.
It's looking strong, looking hungry, looking like he wants that bell.
Yep. So we have fallen off the pace, going through at 55.
55 for the lead.
So, and it looks like our pacer has decided to stick in this year.
Take a look at the rest of the field, though.
Yep, so O'Brien well ahead of the rest. That looks to be Zumbach in second.
Yeah, definitely a good lead at this point. 200 to go.
Yeah, going through, well, right around 122, 123 through the 600. This is going to be a pretty good time. Zumbach closing in. But it looks to be O'Brien closing in. Zumbach trying to get ahead of Padley. Padley moving in second. We've got a good battle in the middle. 152. Going to be the unofficial time. All those guys rolling on in.
Again, like we had talked about at the beginning of the day, you know, you see these guys cross. They're gassed right now, but a couple of smiles going on. These guys are happy with those times, getting some fast times here at BSR.
Yeah, I believe all those guys sub 2. All those guys were definitely sub.
Well, I
2
think
minutes.
we'll go ahead and pull up those results.
O'Brien officially wins the Elite 800 meters, 152.81. Padley, 153.98. Zumbach, 154.10. McCabe, 155.38. Ashkenazi just missed that time. Is scrolling pretty quick.
Well, like you said, all guys under 2.
Harrison, 155.66. Yeah, slowest time was 157.47 for our pacer. Deutsch, 155.42. Gleiser, 156.48. And then finally, oh, I'm going to miss that final time. That was about 156.
Well, we do know our next event
Francis.
on the track will be our girls' mile. Again, this is an invite-only BSR Elite event. This is the 3rd year running the miles. We've had some good times in the past. Expect the same here as more than half the track now in the shade.
So finally some good weather coming up for the last of our distance races. As we'll pretty soon send it back over to Larry
That's right.
for our intros.
No girls there just yet. Again, it is a rolling schedule, but scheduled to have intros in about 10 minutes. So we might get a little bit of a break before the girls make their appearance onto the track. Gives us opportunity to thank again Marathon Sports and Hoka for their support with these meets today.
Introductions will start at 7 o'clock. That way the girls know exactly when they're starting.
A lot of cool stuff that Hoka Marathon Sports are doing here today. Got that giant Hoka chair in the middle. I've seen a few people taking some pictures on it. Ryan, I encourage you, if you get a chance before everything gets broken down, go ahead, give it a gold jump on it.
Yeah, I might as well.
It's pretty comfy. No,
Seems like it.
last year, we had Stephen Fiselli doing some interviews on the chair itself.
Ah.
So.
That's
Reminder, there are
pretty good.
concessions behind the press box.
Should have told Davio to do that.
Sponsored by
What are you
the
doing?
Skowhegan Boosters Club. Then there's also
Which actually, those interviews should be popping up over on, what is he posting on, New Hampshire Track and Field?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing with
I
it.
don't know what those. Either way, go over to the Instagram, Bay State Running or New Hampshire Track and Field. You'll find somewhere there we've got Davio doing some interviews for us.
And of course, we're mentioning New Hampshire, we're mentioning Bay State Running, but also shout out to Ocean State and My Sports Results. You know, they both did some previews on the meet for their prospective athletes and then some. Definitely always cool when we can take all the states, kind of put them together, especially when it's more than just New England's, which, of course, we will be at New England's once again, giving you all that coverage. So if you're looking for recaps and everything, recaps, interviews, I see an interview happening on the Hoka chair right now.
Oh, yeah.
I encourage you to seek those out. Check out all of those sites for different coverage. Again, we've got some what I consider professional photos. Jay Smith does a phenomenal job, and he is around today getting photos of everyone, so you can check those out. Those will be on the New Hampshire page of it.
After the elite boys and girls miles, there will be 2 more races. Part of the New Hampshire Distance Festival. There'll be a girls.
So again, we are awaiting, moments away from our girls 1 mile, then our boys 1 mile, both of the BSR elite events. And then to conclude the evening, as it gets a little bit darker, a little bit cooler out, we've got New Hampshire Distance Festival back in action with the 5Ks. Got girls and boys for that. I'm thinking 1 heat of each. I know boys field was looking pretty big, but we'll find out a little bit later on for that.
Yep, looks like we have our girls' mile over on the far end of the field. Don't see hip numbers yet. Again, ripping the BSR jerseys.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a closer look at those jerseys at some point. I have a feeling we might momentarily.
There we go. Yep, there we go. We see our girls getting warmed up.
We got looks like Adam and Davio right there at the chair. Adam just finished up an interview. Davio taking some photos as well. He's gonna have a nice little recap video of everything as well. Definitely want to check out Instagram for that. He will be posting it to the New Hampshire Instagram, which you can find on Instagram. I don't know what it is.
I believe it is NHXCTF. Find it there for Instagram, and then Bay State Running. I would imagine if you look up Bay State Running, you'll find it there.
Yeah.
I just know for
You'll be able
for
to
us,
find either of them.
Yeah,
We're following it.
NHXCTF. I know for a fact because I helped run it, but Bay State Running again.
BSR, Bay State Running, you should be able to find it through that. We should be able to plug our own Instagrams.
So again, we can see the girls on the far side of the field staying loose, staying warm, getting some drills in, awaiting that 7 o'clock intro mark. Get about 5 minutes away from that. We can take a look down that straightaway. See, we've got those on the left. That's Marathon Sports right, Hoka, big inflatables. That's where we will have our intros begin.
Please go out to the Hoka chair. We'd like to get a picture of all of you out at the chair. All the elite 800 runners, please to the chair.
Looks like we'll get our 800 runners over to the chair for a nice little photo op.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some good
You have to.
Good photos. If you haven't seen them, check it
Yeah.
out. Those are on BSR from last year.
Yeah, check those out. Again, they're going to have the BSR jerseys, and it's all the guys who just ran that phenomenal 800. Again, winning time was 1:52.
Yeah, you watch that back. Those guys were exhausted at the end, but I saw more than a couple of smiles, pretty happy looking at that clock, knowing they ran pretty good time. And that's kind of the theme of this elite meet and these elite events is a lot of PRs, a lot of fast times. As we'll see more and more guys make their way to the big chair for a photo. Again, quite the unique event here. Meet within a meet. Spectators allowed onto the track. Pretty cool atmosphere. Definitely imagine it's helping these competitors push themselves even through the heat that we have today. So again, shout out to all of our meet management, meet directors today. Jeff Wilson, Tim Cox, and I'll throw Dennis Shepard in there as well. Those three definitely made the magic happen to get everyone here today. And, of course, a whole supporting crew behind each one of those.
Also, a big shout-out to Jeff Wilson, the coach here at Souhegan.
There we go. Looks like our girls' elite mile will be heading down for their intros shortly.
So as we see the guys collect on the chair, we will kind of shift our focus back down the straightaway for these intros. Not quite ready yet. I guess they're all, well, they got numbers, so they're all going to the trash and throwing out the backings. It's responsible. We're just making Lars work hard. Shout out Lars, thank you. And as these girls are getting lined up, we're going to go ahead and step away from the mic for just a moment so we can bring in Larry Martin with the intros. Should be happening any moment now.
Let me introduce you to the BSR Elite Girls Milers. First, we have Alexis Paterna, a sophomore from Exeter, New Hampshire. She's a New Hampshire Division I indoor 3,000 meter champion. She's a 3,200 meter of 10:49. Alexis Paterna. Next, we have Madeline Lane, a sophomore, also from New Hampshire, from Huntington, New Hampshire. She's a Nike Cross Nationals qualifier. She's New Hampshire Cross Country State Meet runner-up. She's run a 10:49 2-mile and a 9:58 3K. Madeline Lane. Next, we have Amelia Alvazi, a junior from Andover Academy in Massachusetts. She was 13th at the Foot Locker Northeast Cross Country Regionals. She's run a 2:15 800 and a 4:38 1500. Amelia Alvazi. Next, we have Greta Hammer, a junior from Needham, Massachusetts. She's the Mass Cross Country State Champion, the Mass State Champion in the 2 miles, 25th at Nike Nationals, and she was the Mass Gatorade Cross Country Runner of the Year. She's run 4:58 in the mile and 10:21 in the 2 mile. Greta Hammer. Next, we have Sierra Evans from Newton North, Mass, where she's a senior. Next fall, Sierra will be going to Providence College. She's the Mass All-State Mile Champion. She's run 2:14 in the 800, 4:57 in the mile. Sierra Evans. Next, we have Samantha Moore, a senior from Portland, Maine. Next fall, she'll be going to the University of Connecticut. She's a 10-time Maine Class A state champion in cross country and track. She was 4th place in the New England in the mile, 2:13 800 and a 4:55 mile. Samantha Moore. Next, we have Kylie Dufusco, a senior from Cumberland, Rhode Island. Next fall, Kylie will be going to the College of Charlestown. She's the Rhode Island State Champion in both the 1,000 and the 1,500. She's run a 4:55 mile and a 10:06 3K. Kylie Dufusco. Next, we have from Oyster River, New Hampshire, Mackenzie Cook. She's a senior at Oyster River. Next fall, she'll be going to Syracuse University. She was a New England runner-up this winter in the 2 mile. She's a New Hampshire Division II 1,000 champion. She's run a 4:54 mile, a 10:36 2 mile. Mackenzie Cook. Next, we have Haley Kavanaugh, also a senior at Oyster River High School. Next fall, Haley will be going to Brown University. She's a 2-time Nike Nationals qualifier. She's a New Hampshire State Champion in the 1,600 meter, and she's run a 4:50 mile. Haley Kavanaugh. Next, we have Abigail Hennessy, a junior from Westford, Mass. She's the Mass State Champion in the 800, in the 1,000, and the mile. She's on the sprint medley All-American at New Balance Nationals. She was in 7th place in the mile at the New Balance Nationals. She's run a 2:06 800 and a 4:40 mile. Abigail Hennessy. Next, we have Brooke Strauss, a senior from Glastonbury, Connecticut. Next fall, Brooke will be going to the University of Connecticut. She's a Foot Locker National qualifier. She's a Connecticut State Champion in the 1,000, New England Champion in the 1,000, National Champion in the mile at the New Balance Nationals. She's run a 2:46 1,000 and a 4:39 mile. The pacer today from Massachusetts will be Gilliana Legore. The girls' elite mile.
All right, just listening to some of those accolades, my goodness, we've
Yeah.
got a good field here today.
I mean, this is by far the best of the best, not only in New England, but it sounds like in the nation.
Girls getting those final instructions from our starter. Definitely looking for some fast times.
Yeah, again, a lot of these names are best in New England, but obviously based on those accolades, you got some of the best from the nation too.
That's right.
So this field is no joke. As we're off, and they are out quick. And we've already got somebody out to a lead.
Last year in this event, 7 girls ran under 5 minutes in this event. 7 girls ran under
Can't
5.
quite hear
And,
Larry. 7 girls under
girls, yeah.
5 last year. Looking to do something similar this year. Pretty strung out up front right now.
I mean, this is a daunting lead already.
Again, this is a mile, not the 800.
Yeah. My best guess up front, it's got to be Strauss, right? I mean, she's one of the big names that I see on this list. Get a little zoom in here for this number. Looks like we've got, that's our pacer, actually. So pacer, there we go. And then that is Hennessy, followed by Strauss. Then DeFusco.
Here is the pacer. 69, 70, 71, 72, 73.
My first thought wasn't the pacer, just because of how far out they are. So that's Ligor, who has pacing duties. She's well out in front, ahead of everybody. I am uncertain what she is exactly pacing for. That's unfortunately, I only had news for the 800. I don't have insider information for the miles, unfortunately.
Well,
but
we can take a look at second and third. So removing our pacer, we see those top 2 on the left side of your screen.
Yep. So again, that was Hennessy, then Strauss, then DeFusco. I think DeFusco was able to make a move ahead of Strauss.
As they come around this corner, we'll get a closer look at them.
So here we go. They've now moved up to the pacer. So now that is Strauss, followed by Hennessy. Then it's going to be DeFusco.
Strauss and Hennessy taking the lead.
DeFusco and Evans.
Coming up on the 800.
So here we go.
221,
This is Strauss. 222.
225,
followed by Hennessy,
226,
then
227,
DeFusco,
228.
then Evans, and then Kavanaugh leading that rest of that chase. Kavanaugh is trying to build her way up to DeFusco and Evans.
Again, though, we can see Strauss out in front over Hennessy. As we slowly zoom out, we can see it is a significant lead those two have over the rest of the field. Good battle for first, second. Good battle third and fourth as well.
Yep, Kavanaugh is trying to sneak well back up to DeFusco and Evans as the rest of the pack is going with Kavanaugh.
Yeah, we can focus in on these two as they're rounding this corner.
So there we go, Strauss and Hennessy, 1 and 2.
Strauss and Hennessy.
They have a
Coming up
great
in the
lead.
quarter mile.
on the rest of the field.
328, 329.
Hear that
330,
bell.
Going through
331,
332. Coming through, that's still DeFusco leading the chase.
339.
DeFusco followed by Evans. Then Hammer, then Paterna. Bring out the tape.
Oh, here we go. We've got a move being made.
Yep, it's Hennessy moving over Strauss. Look to see if Strauss can respond, coming with 200 to go. Coming through, 405. 200 go. Let's see the response from Strauss, if she has one.
Again, Hennessy in those pink shoes, Strauss in the white. Strauss not going away.
Strauss is in the white. 100
Strauss on the inside. Is she going to make the pass?
She's pushing
She's
in,
giving it
pushing
the inside. She's in.
What a great race.
Picking up the pace as well. And
Put
she's
up the
going to head
stride.
towards that tape.
Here she goes. Photo finish.
I think just under 440. Phenomenal race.
And here comes Evans, followed by DeFusco.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So we see Strauss with a time
According to my
4:39.88.
count, 9 of these young
Hennessy
ladies
4:47.6.
broke 5 minutes. That's unofficial.
Get those all those times up once they're available.
Broke 5 minutes.
Evans 450.20, DeFusco 452.48, Kavanaugh 454.68, Hammer 455.68, Paterna. Wow, we have 9 girls. We have 9 girls under 5.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
that is pretty good. That is no joke. Paterna 456.59. Want to list out all those. Cook 456.71. Alvazi 457.31. Lane 501. Excuse me. 70.34, and then Moore 506.95. That is a heck of a girls' mile.
Hey, I tell you, great shout out to Strauss and Hennessy there, making a huge race between the two of them. Really kind of kicked it till the end. And I mean, that's why you stand on the track and you watch.
Yep.
That's where it just happened. It just happened in front of everyone.
Yep, and you can't miss it if you're on the track. Can't miss it.
So with the girls 1 mile for the BSR Elite completed, we've got our boys mile slated to start next. Our intros look like they are 10 minutes away, so we got a little bit of a break in the action here. And we might need it. Recharge after quite a good race there on the girls' side of things for our girls 1 mile BSR Elite.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for the boys. I'm getting ready to turn it back over to Larry once again.
We got a few minutes on that.
Yeah.
Scheduled for 7:20.
Yep, so schedule, we're 10 minutes away, according to the schedule. Again, I thought it was interesting how far out the pacer was. That's why, again, first thought, I didn't even think that was the pacer at first.
Hey, I tell you, pacing's a challenging job, and I mean, especially, you see a little bit more consistent pacing when you go to college meets, but high school meets, it's really challenging. I mean, especially you think about the time of year it is for pacing. This is not necessarily your championship time of the year, and yet we're still having these phenomenal times.
Yeah.
So again, we see 9 different girls under that 5-minute mark. And more fast times to come for sure. You can tell now no sun is touching the track. Cooling off for sure, just as the action is heating up.
So we'll see how that goes this year.
Again, while we have this moment, once again, this is New Hampshire Track and Field, as well as Bay State Running, powered by Marathon Sports. Our meet coverage today brought to you by Hoka. We are at our New Hampshire Distance Festival, the first annual, taking a break from it for our 3rd time through with the BSR Elite. Used to be the BSR Elite Mile, expanded this year to include the 800, and I am glad that they did. A lot of good action here. If you're looking for entry lists, you can find them at Upstart Timing. Your previews are scattered all over the place because we've got a lot of different athletes from a lot of different states here. So we've got previews from Bay State Running, of course, New Hampshire State Running. We've got Ocean State Running and My Sports Result, all with different information on the events today. Previews, we'll have recaps in all those locations as well, each with a slightly different spin for the states, I'm sure. Look excited to doing those. Ryan, are you?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm definitely going to be taking those up after this
right.
week for sure. I think we'll be bringing back our weekly shout-outs this week.
Nice.
Starting to get those back up. We slow start, I think, to the season, but I think now that things are kicking up, it's a good time to bring those back.
Oh, I see some guys doing some strides out there.
Oh, yeah. There they are. Back out there.
Yes.
We'll probably get them in view momentarily.
Yes. Larry, can you hear me? I can.
Let's see. Looking around the facility, covered in Marathon Sports and Hoka. Got that giant Hoka chair in the middle. It's got a few different guys on it right now. I think they're going to be vacating pretty soon because our girls' elite mile competitors will be heading on over there shortly. Some photos need to occur. Some great photos, too. Again, if you want photos from today, free, available, free for download, full res, high res too, nice quality. Jay Smith does a great job with it. You can head on over to nh.staterunning.net. We'll have a link to that there. You should be able to find it.
And all the girls from the elite mile.
Obviously not till the, meet is done.
Right.
They'll be up in the next few days for sure. And a lot of great shots. And again, different types of coverage going on Instagram.
Yep.
I know that New Hampshire will have a few things posted. Bay State will have a few things posted as well. Davio, can see him kind of in the middle there. He's getting some good footage today. Last couple of weeks in New Hampshire, he's done some pretty cool meet recap videos of not necessarily like the best of the best, but just some really cool shots of the day, capture the moments of the day. So definitely check us out on Instagram. Then I will say I love the BSR Instagram. They've got some great previews and stuff up there as well. So a lot of positive, good posts in both locations, both worth checking out, along with our other media partners.
Sure stuff, yeah.
But got a nice wide view. You can see those girls kind of grouped up by the chair, and then far off on the track is boys doing some strides.
Yep, and we're getting pretty darn close to we're going to be fully under the lights, which is what all distance runners look forward to.
Lights are on. Should make for good boys elite mile, and then as well as the 5Ks after it. You know, that's what you.
Yep, those are the final two events after this one.
If you're gonna run a 5K on the track, you want to do it under the lights.
Yeah, that's the goal always.
See that start list for the boys on your screen. We will get those intros going in 4 or so minutes. Right now you can see those boys getting some instructions from, looks like Dennis Shepard and Tim Cox over there directing things. As Lars gives us a closer look.
There we go, our men's elite mile. Getting those hip numbers put on.
What do you think? More nerves or more excited?
I don't know. I think coming out to see that fast 800 girls fast mile, I'd be pretty excited to see this.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got some pretty solid times out there. I mean, there's always that thought process of if you see a lot of great times ahead of you, you're just bound to just get on that track and run something really fast. If you see something like that come up before you, you've no doubt you're just in the mentality of, okay, now it's my time to run fast. I'm sure there's a good mixture of nerves in there also.
Oh, sure.
I can't say there isn't, but when you've got this group of elite runners and you see that, I mean, you've got some pretty good motivation to run fast out there. And
yeah, we can take a look at the chair real quick, see our female competitors. Again, a little photo op. Making sure to take the spikes off first. And as those pictures wrap up, we're shifting on over. We see those guys getting on over, ready for their intros. And I imagine, unless you're a repeat runner from last year, maybe some of the national type stuff. Intro's a little bit new, a little bit exciting.
Yeah.
It's got to get you adrenaline going a little bit extra. And moments away from hearing about these accolades for these runners and who is running it. So we'll go ahead, step away from the mic, and again, Larry Martin coming on now.
Introduce you to the runners in the boys elite mile. Nate Asa, a senior from Marlborough, Massachusetts. Next fall, he'll be going to Purdue University. He's a New Balance All-American in the 5K, having run 14:32. He's a Massachusetts state champion in the 2 mile. He's also the New England champion in the 2 mile. Nate Asa. Next, from New Hampshire, we got Will Samard, a senior from Conval Regional. Next fall, Will will be going to the University of Mass in Lowell. He's a 2-time New Hampshire Division II state champion in the 3200. All New England in the 2 mile in 9:15. He's running 8:33 3K. Will Samard. Next, we have Colby Flynn, only a sophomore from Bishop Hendricken, Rhode Island. However, he is the Rhode Island state champion in the 1500, and he's run a 2:31,000. Colby Flynn. Ethan Schultz, a senior from Lincoln, Sudbury, Massachusetts. Next fall, Ethan will go to Middlebury College. He's the all-state runner-up in cross-country in Massachusetts. He's run a 9:09 2 mile. Ethan Schultz. Next, from New Hampshire, we've got Matt Giardina, a senior from Bishop Girton. Next fall, Matt will be going to the University of New Mexico. This year, he was 7th place in the Foot Locker Nationals. He also qualified for the Nike Cross Country Nationals. 3-time New Hampshire D1 state champion in the 3200. He's also the 2024 New England 2 mile champion. 9:04 in the 2 mile. Matt Giardina. Next, we have Silas Gartner, a senior from Falmouth, Mass. Next fall, Silas will be going to the University of Colorado at Boulder. He's the Mass Division II state champion in cross country. He also is a Foot Locker national qualifier. He's run a 4:14 mile. Silas Gartner. Next, I have John Bianchi, a junior from Natick, Mass. He's the Mass Division II 4x800 meter relay champion. He also was the Mass Division I cross-country runner-up. He has already run 4:12 in the mile. John Bianchi. Next, I've got Graham Heinrich, a senior from Marshfield, Mass. Next fall, Graham will be going to the University of Pittsburgh. He was 7th place this year in the DMR at the New Balance Nationals. He's a 2-time Mass Division II state champion in the 1,000. He has run a 4:12 mile. Graham Heinrich. Next, I have Jack Olette, a senior from Xavier, Connecticut. Next fall, Jack will be going to Boston University. He's a 2025 cross-country open champion in the 3200. He also is the 2024 outdoor New England champion in the 3200. He has run a 4:11 mile. Jack Olette. Next, we have Alex Fisher, a junior from Lomas Chaffee Prep School in Connecticut. He was New England Prep Division I champion in the 1500 and the 3K. He was a Foot Locker national qualifier as a sophomore, and he was 20th at Nike Nationals this year. He's run a 4:09 mile. Alex Fisher. Next, I have Pam Gavinas, a senior from Andover Prep in Massachusetts. Next fall, Pam will be going to Harvard University. He was the Gatorade Cross Country Runner of the Year for Massachusetts. He was the Foot Locker cross-country national champion and a 3-time Foot Locker qualifier, has run a 4:09 mile. Cam Gavinas. Next we have Sohayab Bisha, a senior from Newtown, Connecticut. Next fall, he will be going to Duke University. He's a 2-time New Balance Outdoor Nationals All-American. He's a Foot Locker Cross Country Nationals qualifier. He has run a 4:04 mile. So Hibab Disha. The pacers for this race will be Theodore Buddy and Harry Flint from Massachusetts. The boys' elite mile.
All right, thank you again, Larry.
Yep.
Again, accolades on accolades on accolades, huh?
Yep, that's what you hear from all these elite runners.
Well, these guys on the line getting their final instructions from the starter there. Good group of guys here looking for some fast times as we've seen the past 2 years. This will be the 3rd running of our BSR Boys Elite Mile.
Yep, looks like I was also told from Lars upstairs that looks like 12 and 13.
I thought he said 13, 14.
13, 14. Ah, yes, 13, 14. Flint and Buddy.
They are off.
Here we go. There's some pushing and shoving as we expect, but it's a clean start for the boys' mile. Already off to a fast start up at the front. Look to see who is where. I'd imagine our pacers are up at the front. We can see as New Hampshire announces ourselves, we see Giardina.
Looks like 32 at the 200.
Moved in there. Out pretty quick, 32.
Tam in a good spot. Expect him to be near the front.
Yep.
Sitting in 4th, which means
So
2nd if we ignore our
Yep.
pacers.
Those are our pacers. They're right there. So that's Disa and Gavnis. 1 and 2. Followed by Fisher, Roulette, and Giardina.
60, 61, 62.
So we're 1 through 4 plus Giardina in 5th. Giardina looks like he's moved back a bit. There's a lot of movement.
Again, looking past our first 2, we're looking at Disa and Tam.
I think Roulette and Heinrich are 3 and 4. Looks like we got Samard kind of in the back. That's a little interesting for him. Would be more expecting him to be up at the front, but to see what he does. We got a good movement on the outside. That would be from Heinrich.
If the pros have taught us nothing recently, it's that no lead is safe.
That is true. That is very true. So, Disa and Gavnis, followed by Roulette and Heinrich. And looks like our pacers have stepped off. They've come through at 2:07. We're looking at a 4:14 pace right now.
Yeah, definitely expect a bit more of a kick than a 4:14.
Little move on the inside. Looked to be from Heinrich. Actually, big move on the inside. That's not Heinrich.
He keeps moving up.
I think that's Roulette. Now on the outside, it's going to be Heinrich. He's going to move up to the front, right along the shoulder of Disa.
This guy's all jockeying for that 2nd spot. No one wants to lead just yet.
Everybody's still gauging where they're at. It's going to come down. All of them are still grouped up together. No spacing among any of them. This is going to be a really tight finish. Coming down into the bell lap. Ooh, little trip up there.
Ooh, I think that was Tam who ended up going off the track. See if he can get back up. He does and is getting back in it. We'll take a look at this bell, though.
He's up front. Roulette and Heinrich going through. He is now pushed up. Gavnis.
Tam running without a shoe. Thank you for the assist there, Lars. We take a look at our top guys. See if anyone wants to challenge Disa on this. And it looks like he is indeed going to get some challenge.
Yep,
Maybe
Ouellette
not.
And Heinrich. Heinrich has moved up on the inside again. So those are your top three. They're starting to pull away. Simard has moved up to the chase. Is in 6th. Heinrich moving ahead. Ouellette. And that looks to be Bianchi in 4th. Final straightaway. It is Disa. Going down the straightaway, coming in. Going to be looking for the tape. We're going to probably potentially see a sub 4:10. Just barely 4:11. Followed by Heinrich and Ouellette. What a race. Disa from line to tape.
These guys all looking pretty tired.
Disa 4:10.43 is the official winning time, and there is the shoe of Tam. Heinrich 4:10.91, Ouellette 4:11.87, Bianchi 4:11.88, Gartner 4:12.92, Fisher 4:13.84, Flynn 4:14.54, Simard 4:14.97, Asa 4:15.21. Cut off the results there for a moment. Schulk 4:15.64, Giardina 4:15.92, Asa 4:15.21. Gavin is able to finish without the shoe. 4:18.17 without the shoe stumbles, sub 4:20.
I mean, he was right
That's
up. He was in that front group.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things like you want to watch him finish, but you also don't want him to get hurt because it's so early in the season for him.
But we aren't done yet. We have 2 more races.
So definitely an eventful race on the boys' side.
As we're going to shift gears back to New Hampshire focus. Right back over to the girls 5K. We have currently a heat of 21 on paper, and then just looking ahead to the boys, we got a heat of 18. So pretty stacked heats. We'll go over those seeds once we come through, so getting ready for that.
Yeah, again, the time schedule has them starting at 7:40. I've got 7:31 now.
So about 9 minutes away. Again, take this time to take a look over our Instagram. Checking over Marathon Sports, see all the cool gear, and also Hoka. Thanks to you again to those.
Yeah, I mean that's right.
Posts.
There's some
got their
stuff for
websites.
sale here too, and stuff here for sale, stuff online for sale.
Yeah.
Saw those. Saw that quick flash of the Hoka shoe of Tams. You can get all of those online, as well as in store.
Yeah.
We've got 27 different locations
Yeah,
now.
it's something you specifically should probably know.
I knew it.
I thought it was.
I knew it a while
over
ago.
20.
Yes. Yeah.
I knew it was over 20. I thought it was 23.
It's
20
growing so fast. I gotta
that
keep.
you
I gotta keep track.
Can't
Yeah.
keep track of numbers.
Just,
Yeah, last time I knew it was 23. But
Give a quick shout out to Maine. Just beginning of last month, opened up Fleet Feet, Brunswick and Fleet Feet of Portland, both kind of converted on over to Marathon Sports. So a couple locations there. If you enjoyed it as Fleet Feet, definitely come check it out as Marathon Sports. And if you're not in the main region, we've got them all scattered about. There's a store in Providence. I'm not going to list them all, but there's 4.
If you want to know where they all are, they all are on the website.
Yes.
If you go over to the website, they have them all listed, where the locations are, what they used to be.
Yeah, one in Providence, Rhode Island, and 4 in Connecticut, 3 in New Hampshire, and then all the others, like I said, 2 in Maine, and then can't go far in eastern Massachusetts without running into one.
Oh, yeah.
Check out the stores. Some excellent procedures, get you fitted right, get you exactly what you need. Also, check out the run clubs, and again, more than just shoes, nutrition, apparel as well. You know, different
all
brands
stuff running.
in there. Oh yeah,
All stuff running.
yeah.
They've got it.
And you know what's funny though is every time I'm in store, you get your runners, but you also get nurses.
Yep.
teachers, people who are on their feet. You know, we've had some bartenders, some people who are working on concrete floors all day.
No, and the shoe techs are great. You give
Oh,
them
yeah.
You give them the situation.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, got the
And they're-
exact thing for you.
Yeah, and they're
they
used
know
to
they
it.
know exactly know what you need.
So definitely, if you can, check them out for professional fitting. And again, more than just shoes. Got we'll get you some socks and insoles because the socks will actually make a difference. I have learned a lot about sock technology over the past few years.
Yep, I sure have as a competitive runner. Socks are
Makes a
can
difference.
help with the blisters. Surprisingly.
Of course, Marathon had a huge presence at the Boston Marathon a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago. Great to
You were
show
down
the
there
support.
for
Oh yeah,
a big thing.
it was quite a long, fun weekend. So definitely always events going on. Again, about 5 minutes away from our 5Ks. We've got a girls' heat and a boys' heat. Should be good under the lights.
Yep. Well, might as well just quickly preview who we've got here. Again, 18 flat is the seeded #1 time from Bullock of Phillips Exeter, followed by Shelly Smith of Concord, 18:20. Madeline Cook of Oyster River, 18:30. Ellie England, 18:30. Fondakowski of Bishop Girton, 18:30. O'Shea of Messinic, 18:45. McMahon, Phillips Exeter, 19 flat. Emerson of Hopkinton, 19:20. Simpson of Alver, 19:21.50. Reed of Phillips Exeter, 19:30. It's your top 10 seeded times. Rest of the heat.
Yeah, I'll let you continue, but I got a feeling, you know, some of these times are going to be quicker than their seeds. Just
Yep.
you know, it's warm, which can help in some regards. Probably not used to the heat at this point, but it is starting to cool off with the sun setting. But yeah, no, I mean definitely don't go away. There's a lot of good action to come.
Again, lots of sub-20s, but again, I can imagine that we might see a lot faster than these times for sure. Again, those were your top 10, and then we've got Forsyth of Bishop Girton, O'Shea of Messinic, Hoole of Oyster River, Walsh of Hopkinton, Berube of Alvern, Yellen of Merrimack, Muhammad of Pinkerton, Mooney of Souhegan, Taylor of Merrimack, Weary of Alvern, and Nickerson of Portsmouth Christian. Probably give another quick run now right before we get into the heat, but that is our preview there of our 21 potential runners here. The girls 5K. Got wow, actually Greg Hall is about to make a PA announcement. He got saved. Was saved from having to go open mic to the whole crowd. Although I don't know, what's more nerve-wracking, being on the live stream or the whole crowd here?
I was fine with it. My biggest issue, I'm going over there, and I'm not sure if it's live or if I need to switch it on. But fortunately, I don't need to make that
You
distinction.
don't need to make that.
He's getting food, so I'm on it.
Trash to pick it up.
Yeah. But the
See there. Again, we're about 3 minutes away. 3-minute countdown.
So it's funny, normally with a break on the track, we step away as well, but the action's been so good, we didn't even bother.
No. No, absolutely not. So much to talk about. So many things to shout out. So many people and organizations.
So we just heard the announcement for those boy milers who just finished up to head on to the chair for their photo. I'm not seeing a whole lot of them around, though, so it might take a moment.
Oh. I think they might be pretty beat from that mile.
Yeah.
I see one of them. One of them's ready for the photo op.
A few more sneaking in as well. See that nice big Hoka chair, of course, gives us the opportunity, if we haven't said it enough, huge thank you to Marathon Sports and Hoka for their support of these two meets today, the 2-for-1 deal, first annual New Hampshire Distance Festival, as well as the BSR Elite events just wrapped up.
And again, we're here at the wonderful Sauhegan High School in Amherst, New Hampshire. So thank you to this community here for hosting the first
That's right.
ever one. And again, I remember Tim Cox saying that this is perfect location because it's right by
Yeah, it's near enough for
Massachusetts folks to come on up and enjoy the races too. That was discussion of where in New Hampshire are we going to be hosting it, where it's a good location, where it's nearby, and this seemed to be pretty good. Great track here.
Yeah, I know Jeff saw, he looked at the schedule early, saw that there was going to be an open weekend, and wanted to capitalize on it. And I am very grateful, as are, I bet, a number of these athletes for this opportunity, because, there are other distance festivals. I think Connecticut Distance Festival might not have been running this year. So just a good opportunity for some athletes to come out and get some good times. And
and a great experience all around. I mean,
oh, yeah.
Again, the tents over there that we have Dennis setting up over there for Marathon Sports is a great feature, I think, for these athletes to come in. You've got your name written on the chair right for you.
Yeah.
With a bunch of gear. That's a phenomenal way to enter, and just kind of gives you again some good motivation to run some good times. And again, that's exactly what we saw.
And you get a pretty cool jersey out of it too.
A lot of perks for the elite events for sure, and especially New Hampshire Distance Festival.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a win-win situation. It was good for, it's the first year of New Hampshire Distance Festival. You get a few more people here, a few more fast times with BSR coming as well, and a nice crowd out for those girls and guys in those elite races. So what's not to love here?
Yeah.
And you see guys slowly making their way over. I see a number of them. And, of course, we have to take a look over at where our 5K start is. It's a 5K, which means we are starting on the other side of the track. Got a big group of them, which means we are just moments away from them taking off.
Looks like we got red flag still. So here we go. We got pretty full line.
I think you said girls' heat has a couple more bodies than the boys.
Yeah, I believe there's 21 here for the girls. Yeah, I can't imagine that they would put them all on one line. But
Get some instructions.
I don't know. I'm curious with the two sets of lines if they are going to put them on just the one.
Might just be the one with some people in the back, looks like.
Yeah.
5K doesn't always go out guns blazing like some of the,
True,
the shorter events, so
Yep.
shouldn't
so
be
don't
too much of
necessarily-
a problem.
I don't know. Still like a barrel, though.
Oh, sure.
Everybody likes a good barrel.
Yeah, I don't see I don't see the cones out for that, so I'm thinking no barrel.
Probably not. Again, sun is set pretty low now. Lights are
On and needed.
Yep. Again, this is if you want to run a 5K on the track, this is the way to do it.
That will be 12 and 1/2 laps. That's why they're starting on the opposite side. 12 and a half laps.
12 and a half laps, 400 meters, of course, is the distance of the track. 5K, pretty unique for high school, especially in New Hampshire on the track, that is.
We're going to try to get a PR. He's running on the track, they can pace themselves a lot better.
Guys are loaded up on that Hoka chair.
So I'm sure a lot of them are going to be on pace to see if they can run faster than they did in the cross-country season.
5K on a track versus 5K cross country, definitely a bit of difference. tell you, one thing you may not realize as the sunset's lights come on is the timing. It definitely makes it a little bit more challenging. You got to have correct lighting in order to get all those athletes. So they're double checking, triple checking, making sure they can see the line. Pretty interesting technology for timing. At least I find it interesting.
Yeah. Yep. You can see over there they're sending over the lights.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, again, just because you have those giant lights right above you doesn't mean they're
Right.
in the right spot.
You can. I tell you, that Hoka chair is loaded right now.
Oh, yeah. That
Oh, they're all getting off, and a little bit of a dip to it. It's okay.
That's what it was made for.
Yeah. Again, we are just moments away as the sun setting makes lighting a little bit trickier. So just waiting on that. Want to make sure that everyone crossing the line gets accounted for.
In the girls 5,000, the top seed is Phillips Exeter Academy's Ava Boulder with an entry time of 18 flat. Also look for Concord's Shelby Smith, BG's Anna Bondakowski, Oyster River's Madeline Cook, Plymouth Ellie England, and Messini's Erin O'Shea. They should all form the front pack.
I'm seeing zeros on the clock.
Yep. So that must.
Soon means soon.
It
Still
means
got a red
soon.
flag.
Oh. I didn't see the red flag.
Again, while we have this break, we can talk about what's coming up next. And I know for us, tomorrow night, we've got another Twilight meet as we see these girls getting released to a stride. We are going to be in Weston, Massachusetts for the Weston Twilight. Happens at the high school as well as Regis College, about a mile down the road. Get some distance going on at Regis and all the sprints and field stuff happening at the high school. So it should be a good twofer type meet again. Pretty busy weekend. Then taking a look at New Hampshire, I believe the next meet, correct me if I'm wrong, will be Clipper Relays. It's always a fun one.
Oh yeah, no, it's always great.
Another
It's a very
night
unique,
meet.
Yep, another night meet. It's a unique relay meet. There's not a lot of meets like that.
Yeah.
I feel like especially in New Hampshire, but they've got quite a few unique relays. They got a hurdle relay in there.
All right, well, we've got girls on the line, and they are off.
Here we go.
Girls 5K, Bullock, Smith, Cook, England, Fondakowski, O'Shea, McMahon, Emerson, Simpson, Reed, Forsyth, O'Shea, Hool, Walsh, Berube, Yellen, Muhammad, Mooney, Taylor, Weary, and Nickerson. That's a quick rundown of our runners up front. Of course, we have Bullock taking the lead, followed by Smith as our 1 and 2. Then we have Fondakowski, then Aaron O'Shea, top 4, followed by England. And then I believe that is O'Shea's sister, Caitlin. Again, Aaron up front, followed by Caitlin for the O'Shea sisters. There it is. They're all spread out now. Again, that's Bullock, Smith, Fondakowski, and England.
Again, 5,000 meters. It's 12.5 laps.
So we'll get our 400 split all the way across the track. So 400 split looking to be right around 125, so 85.
More than a lap in, these girls kind of starting to settle into their spots. We can see the top 4 and +1 and then a cluster.
Yep. We have Aaron just kind of on our island trying to get into that lead pack. Here we go at 600. Still Bullock, Smith, Fondakowski, and England, and O'Shea, and then we got Maddie Cook. We have the rest of the pack closing in here. There's our 4+1.
Yeah, O'Shea in kind of a tough spot.
Yeah, and a 5K, it's not necessarily the best place to be in, but you do have a runner coming up on your back. I believe that might be Maddie Cook. Just assuming off of the blue shorts.
Yeah, it's Oyster River.
Yeah. It's Oyster River up front. It's a good chance it's Cook. But again, it's those 4. Now going through first K of 5. So about 3:36 through the first K. And now O'Shea not so much in a tough spot now. She's got the rest of the pack on her, so this is gonna be a good time for her to work off some competitors. But again, it is those 4. No movement at all yet. England looks like she wants to make a move, but doesn't look ready to commit to it yet. Oh. Kind of trying to make a move, but Fondakowski is just going to move right back in there. So now Maddie Cook has moved up in front of O'Shea. Just those 2 followed by the next 3. That's Forsyth in the back of that pack. And then I believe that is Emerson of Hopkinton and Simpson of Alvern. Could be mistaken, but that's my best guess right now. Those 4 have clumped up a little bit more. Got 200 to go till our first approximate mile mark. So again, there's O'Shea and Cook, followed by Emerson, then Simpson, then Forsyth, and following with Caitlin O'Shea, leading that pack of 4.
Good look there at the lead 4. Be interesting when someone tries to switch things up and make a move in that group. But we can take a look back at our 5 and 6 there. Co-Brown, Oyster River back and forth. I'm sorry, Oyster River and Messinic back and forth. Sorry, O'Shea.
So I think we were just around 5:45 for that mile.
You can see a good battle there for 7, 8, and 9 as well. As we can take a look back at our lead 4. Looks like they may be coming up on some lap traffic momentarily. Once that starts happening, it gives you something to chase down. See Davio in our shot. He's getting some good,
Good
good
action.
footage today. Again, we see Oyster River over Messinic for that 5-6 battle. 7, 8, 9, still pretty clumped. And then 10 looks to be Messinic. Be O'Shea again.
In that front group, they're feeding off of each other.
Again, these lead 4, no real changes yet.
Race this long. Exodus, Ava Bolduck, Harvard, Shelley Smith, Bishop Gordon, Sienna Fondakowski, Plymouth, Kelly England.
Again, these 4 continue to work together. You can see that gap behind has increased. You can see these girls all spread out now. Try and give you as much of the action as we can, hence the picture-in-picture for you.
At this point, the lead group is about half done. And they're hanging right together. Makes it easier for all of them. Ava Bolduck from Exeter
So with
Academy.
Bolduck, Smith, Fondakowski, and England still. No change in placement.
Kelly England. 6 to go. 6 to go.
Got 6 laps to go as they're coming up on some lap traffic.
It looks like they are starting to tire just a little bit. That could be my speculation, but we'll see. Actually, as we get around some more lap traffic, we see a little bit of separation forming there. believe that's Ellie just trying to hang on to those lead 3. She let a little bit of separation occur. Have to keep an eye on that. If she can stay this distance or closer, much better off for her. Again, Ava of Phillips Exeter, the junior, been leading the entire way. Shelly Smith, the senior from Concord, has been right behind her. And Anna Fondakowski of Bishop Girton been sitting in that 3rd spot. We do see Ellie dropping off a little bit, again, with all of this lap traffic. So we see 1, 2, and then that green jersey is our top 3. Wearing a number 5, that's Fondakowski.
And they have moved up quite a bit away from England.
Yeah.
Now got the music playing now. They didn't have it before.
Oh, they had it. Music's been going all the whole time.
Has it? Seemed pretty
yeah.
quiet during the miles. I don't know.
No, it was going.
It's now coming through. Around 11:46.
I believe when they get around, they'll have 4 to go. See, it gets a little bit darker on the corners.
They come through. We are now coming up on 5 to go. Actually, we're actually
Make
coming
that
up
4
at
to
4.
go.
Yep, making it 4 to go.
Again, your top 3
A little less than 1 mile to go for the lead.
center of your screen right now continue to work their way around. It is Ava Bullock of Phillips Exeter. Continuing to lead, Shelly Smith of Concord right behind, and Anna Fondakowski in 3rd in green. Just saw the progress made of, I believe, Madeline Cook voiced the river, the sophomore. She's kind of all out alone.
Here we go. We're moving up.
Lead group still hanging in there.
Getting into 3 laps to go. Clock sitting at 14:03. England kind of all on her own, has to work with lap traffic. This group has moved ahead of Caitlin O'Shea.
Just got a brief glimpse at Ellie there as we go back to our lead 3. Again, these 3 have been this order the entire race. No real separation. What you see now is pretty much what it's been the entire last 14 minutes.
Yep. 14:48. 1,000 to go.
go when they get to the finish line. Ava Bulldog, Shelly Smith, Anna Fondakowski.
A little bit of movement here.
Together the whole
See,
way.
Shelly Smith does take the lead. Fondakowski follows. Ava Bullock moves from first to third.
Shelly Smith taking the lead.
Smith's looking good. 2 laps to go, 800. Again, we see England picking a few runners off one at a time.
Tell you right now, though, Shelly Smith looking really good, expanding that lead she just created. Ava Bullock not going away, though. Does pass back on Anna Fondakowski.
Yep, Bullock's trying to make her way back up to Smith.
And now Ava with a little separation over Anna. Shelly still has that separation out front.
Coming to the gun lap, Shelly Smith.
100 meters till we hear that bell.
Fondakowski, Ava Bulldog.
Yep. Coming up on 400 to go. Smith,
In the low 18s.
Smith, then Bullock, then Fondakowski. Tell you, Bullock is not too far off of Smith still. Bullock has just a little bit more time left.
Looks like she's trying to pick it up, but as she is, so is Shelly.
Yep. So if Bullock wants a chance, she needs to close the gap now. They're closing in on 200 to go.
And Shelly is our leader. Ava just passing some lap traffic. Ava might be closing it a little bit.
Yep, she sure is.
They've both picked it up.
Shelly Smith from Concord.
Smith really needed to close. She's picking it up
Oh,
more.
yeah, there she goes.
Yep, Smith has got it.
Ava Bulldog from Exeter Academy.
Again, the
Anna Fondakowski
top seed was Bullock
from
at 18
Bishopsburg,
flat.
finishing up 5,000
Smith
meters.
is going to get under her seat time at 18:16.
Excellent times.
Congratulations
5K.
to her. Hug from the photographer, our photographer. That would be her dad. Congratulations to both. As we see these girls finishing up, that's Anna Fondakowski as well.
18:33, 18:34 for Fondakowski. As we're moving in on England. Officially for Smith, 18:16:38. Bullock, 18:20:58. So we wait for the rest of our results. We have England in fourth. Coming down to finish, Fondakowski, 18:34:09.
Great
So
kick
lead.
here.
Yeah. And that's going to be Cook. Going down, England comes in 19:13:76. Cook comes in 19:24:42. She outkicks Emerson 19:24:86. Pretty close there for fifth. O'Shea 19:30:02.
See a lot of these girls now finishing up. Just a lap down or so. And it's a lot of girls under that 20-minute mark.
Yeah, it's Simpson 19:52. Hool 19:54:54. Simpson was 1952-17. And it's Berube over 20 minutes. 20:04:58 Reed, 20:05:74 Forsyth, 20:15:82. Pretty good 5K for the girls.
All boys in the 5,000 should be checking in. All boys
We had
in the
9 girls
5,000.
under 20 minutes.
Make sure you're checked in.
Not bad for a warm night on the track.
Yeah, definitely not. As we finishing out with the girls 5K now.
As they finish up once again, this is New Hampshire Track and Field as well as Bay State Running, both powered by Marathon Sports. Our meet coverage today, both meets brought to you by Hoka. So appreciate Marathon Sports and Hoka. We've got one event remaining, one race remaining. It's going to be our boys 5K under the lights.
Taking a look, not sure what time we've got for that race coming up.
It's rolling at this point. As soon as
Should
these
be,
girls
yeah,
are
right?
done, I can see the boys across the field now.
Yep, they're warming up, so we'll give a little intro over to them. So, over we got one heat of 18. Got Helen Vlahakis of Phillips Exeter, Courier of Mascoma Valley, Cover of Phillips Exeter, Hollick, who is unattached, Mayu of Pinkerton, Barnes of Portsmouth Christian, Lehman of Oyster River, Reader of Profile, Matson of Alvern, Froberg of Co-Brown, Graveline of Co-Brown, Bonifato of Oyster River, Martin Biggs of Winnicunnet, Wanamaker of Alvern, Russell of Mascoma Valley, Mayhew of Mascoma Valley, Corrigan of Sauhegan, and Tan of Alvern. Top times are 15:15, held by Howland, Vlahakis, and Courier.
Definitely getting dark out.
Yep. So we are going to put ourselves under the lights, so to speak. Here we go. It looks
They
like
have not started the guys 5K just yet, probably 1 minute or so away.
one competitor left, as we can see kind of in the stands. It's kind of cleared out a bit, but still everybody getting ready for that boys 5K. Still a lot more action to go. Well, wouldn't say a lot more.
Turn the light on. Now I feel like we're in a fishbowl. As we see our final girls competitor finishing up with a good kick. She will be under that 24-minute mark. And that concludes the girls portion of the day. On to our final event, boys 5,000 meter.
Again, we already announced those names. Top seed 5:15 is going to be the time we're looking at. Could see something faster.
See those boys
The other side of the track, we're getting ready for the
getting
last
ready.
race of the evening. The boys 5,000. Top C, Mascoma's Gunner Courier. Phillips Exeter Academy for Sally Howland. Also from the Academy, Pierce Covert. Champlain Valley, Vermont, Ben Hollock. Pinkerton's Trainer Mayo. Portsmouth Christian Academy's Christian Barnes. Oyster River's Oliver Lehman. And Portsmouth Nolan Peters. Those are the top seeds in this. Again, 12 1/2 laps.
And again, as we see Got the full line of boys over on the far end of the track. Take a look up on our screen, the final results of the girls' 5K. And head on over to athletic.live for both meets. Check out the latest results there if you missed them.
Well, I see we've switched our event over to the boys. Reset the clock means we're moments away from being ready to roll on this one.
Well, we reset our clock. I don't see the field clock reset yet.
Yeah, looking at some of these names, I do expect a pretty good race.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw Helen Vakakis last week.
Saw him a few times cross country. He was doing pretty well.
Yeah, yep. He did pretty well there. And then Gunnar Courier, of course, being one of the top runners in the state in the 5K and the longer distances.
So our top two seeds, as you stated, as they've got their stride. Permission to go ahead, get released, take a stride. Our top two, as you said, 15-15 for the seed.
Yep.
You know, I appreciate that for meet management. Whenever, you know, if there's a delay kind of on the track, waiting, you know, you go to a lot of meets, you see that they're just stuck there waiting, jumping around, but the fact that they're letting them go ahead and get that stride, saying, okay, yeah, it's going to be another second or two. I can appreciate that,
Yep.
having never
Keep 'em
been in the
going.
situation and need
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah, keep the adrenaline going, keep them moving. I think we're almost ready. There we go.
Ooh, white flag.
Yep. That's what we like to see. White flag, getting starting commands ready.
All right, final event of the first ever New Hampshire Distance Festival is underway. Your boys 5,000 meter.
Last event, the first annual New Hampshire Distance Festival.
And I think we got to call them back. Call them back. Might not have gotten the start over at the timing. Didn't see anyone go down from it.
Nope.
Nothing but an extra stride right there.
Yeah. So they got out pretty far too.
Well, the air horn.
Is that what the air horn
yeah,
was for?
the air horn got me thinking, and then I did hear another gun. So
Yep. So we'll do a take two.
yeah, they'll check
So
in on it.
they got an extra aggressive stride in.
Yeah, I mean, what, you got 50, 70 meters there.
Yeah.
For a 5K, you just got to view it as a stride. You
Yeah,
can't,
exactly. It's
can't
like
think
that's
anything else of
I mean,
it.
that's what strides essentially are. Is essentially the mindset is
Yeah.
how you would start a 5K race.
Hey, I mean, for me, you know, you're going to be lined up next to the same guys as it was before. It's like, well, if this guy got out in front of me, I know, you know, what I need to do to get myself.
Yeah, you kind of get an idea of who's.
Get a preview of game plan.
Yeah. Get a little redo. See if.
All right,
how
we
that
are flipped back to white.
Here we go. Try it again.
So yeah, take two, so to speak. Hopefully.
Hopefully
that
2 of
going.
2.
2 of 2, and that's gonna be a.
You're still not getting the start.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see zeros on our clock.
Little shout out from
All right, these guys get back to line. Hopefully, third time's the charm, and if not, I'm going to stop counting. But
Yep. A little shout out from Tyler Sheedy, just letting me know that Gunnar Kruger is fresh off the Boston Marathon himself.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So look to see how he's faring from that event.
I tell you, this is the first time running this meet. Generally, first time running meets, you're going to have some hiccups and some hurdles to overcome. And for the last event of the day, not bad.
No, I mean we run pretty smooth the whole time, and up until lights coming on.
Still a good contingent of people watching at home.
Yep. And I mean, as we wait, the weather's just cooling down more, so.
Take
So
that as a win.
That I think the guys down there might be appreciating it, but also con is they're just kind of standing there. I would say if they need to wait a little bit longer, probably just let them go for another stride or something, even though they've gotten three good ones already.
Well, looks like Jeff is over there talking with them, paper in hand. So might be double checking, see who's here. Although that wouldn't have been the holdup previously.
I can't imagine that would be.
Started doing automatic timing this day and age, we would still have a cool efficiency at timing.
I'm still seeing a red flag. He's just waving it around.
Yep.
Got to
He's,
keep
he's getting bored. He's
keep the
gotta
shoulder loose.
He's got to keep it going.
Just riling up the crowd, you know,
Yep.
getting them ready.
Yeah. The rest of the crowd that's stayed all for this. Yep. I say a good shout to the crowd that's still here.
It's a good number of people.
Yeah, it's a good amount ready for this 5K. And so are we. Trying to see on our screen what we can find out
looks
there.
like the official now talking to the athletes. I was looking to see if Jeff was still over there. Don't see him.
I don't see him either. I'm just. See athletes still trying to keep warm.
It's gotten more comfortable outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From where it was earlier in the afternoon. Be honest, I really underestimated the heat.
Yeah.
I came in with a sweatshirt and pants, and I was like,
Yeah. It's funny. I checked the weather before I left, and it was like as the day was progressing, it was getting warmer and warmer, which is normal. But like, it was like 6 o'clock was going to be warmer than 5 o'clock, and it's just like okay. But yeah, as soon as the sun set, we're in a little bit better shape now.
Yep, for sure.
I stepped outside the booth for half a second and felt a little bit
Yep.
cooler.
We're getting
So.
some dancing over there from Tim Cox. Waving over at us. Oh, he's waving over at Lars, not us. Likes Lars more than us, I guess.
I might have been saying hi to both of us.
You never know.
Now I see guys being released again for some strides.
Yep. So
See some more photo action happening on the Hoka big chair. I think that's going into Dennis Shepard's living room later this weekend.
still got the red flag. Let's see. Is that Jeff running over?
I think I just overheard someone, timer side saying, everything good on our end. We got a white flag now.
Yep. All right,
Ask
so
everybody that when we do leave after this last event, please try to police the areas where you are. Sauhegan was so good hosting this. Let's don't leave them a mess. So on your way out, if you see any trash, etc., please pick it up.
All right, white flag. Let's see if we can get this going.
White flag is up.
yep, we got the boys heading up to the line. Will third times be a charm?
I see the clock rolling. Gotta wonder if there's any hesitation in these guys saying,
Yep,
is it,
like,
is it
is
for
it-
real?
Yep.
And we do see some jockeying for position early on. No surprise there. Everyone wants to be in their spot. We've got Pierce out in front right now.
Yep, and that's Lehman right behind him. Yep, now it's uncharted territory. None of these guys know what's going to happen from here on out.
12 laps.
They knew up until the first corner, I guess. But yeah, Lehman taking a good lead for himself.
Sophomore from Oyster River.
So Lehman takes the lead. We've now broken away into 2 packs already. Again, 15:15 is the number 1 seed time, so essentially that's the time to beat. But we are on meet record watch.
Yes.
So going through, just back of the pack went through at 79. To see who's up front, that looks to be
Gunnar Courier out in front.
Courier's taking it up. Again, just coming off the marathon. Hollick followed by Cover,
Gunnar Courier,
then Lehman.
Mascoma Valley. 11 to go.
Your top 4.
As you said earlier, a couple different packs. See our second pack there as we tune back to our first.
Yep, and that first pack is already spread out into a pack of 8.
One phone turned in was found out on the turf field. So if anyone lost the phone, come on up to the press box.
So Courier still up front, followed by an attached Hollick.
So in the girls' race, a couple laps in, we saw a group of, 5 and then 4 and then 3. Right now it does look like there is 5 sticking together, 3 starting to fall off.
Yep, that 3 is led by Barnes, Portsmouth Christian. So that's Courier, then Hollick. Lehman in the back of that 5. Barnes leading that pack of 3. Mayu is in 8th.
Got some fans getting into it on the other side, some athletes, teammates. Interesting to see how this group of 5 does. Seen them separate a couple different ways, but not falling apart just yet.
So that's going to be, again, Courier and Hollick still 1 and 2. Followed by Vlahakis and Cover, as well as Lehman.
Pollock taking the lead. 9 laps to go.
I believe we're coming up on
New Hampshire.
the mile.
Pollock from Champlain Valley, Vermont.
See what they come through. I think Courier is looking at the shadows to get a glimpse of where people are.
Yeah, not a bad
Nope.
technique,
Doesn't have to look. Yep, he's looking at shadow. He's looking for placement where everybody is. Hollick deciding to move on the inside. Coming through 4:51 through the mile.
Mile time for the leaders, 4:51.
So they're on pretty good pace. So Hollick has now taken over pacing. Courier is staying right on his shoulder, followed by Vlahakis. Cover and Lehman have fallen off just a tad. But it looks like Mayu is trying to move up to this chase, this front pack.
Carrier, Pollock.
Lehman doing a good job trying to keep up with those top 3. So very similar to the girls' race, we're seeing that 5 become 3 pretty quick, but Lehman doing a good job. Mayu moving ahead of Barnes, and that looks to be Reader of Profile. So those are your top 8. And now Vlahakis moving ahead of Hollick. Courier are going to be going with him. Vlahakis, Courier, Hollick, 1, 2, and 3. Look at a little wave going
Up a little on the backside.
from athletes. Lehman's now moved into 4th, right behind Hollick. And Cover in 5th. Hollick now making a big move around the corner. Seems like he didn't like where the pace was, so he's going to pick it up a
It definitely
bit.
seemed like an
Yeah.
intentional surge.
Yep, he didn't
And
like the pacing of it. He looked down at his watch, saw it.
being matched there as well.
Yep, Courier and Vlahakis said they'll go with him. Courier actually
Marcus Howland.
is going to go up ahead. Vlahakis goes with Courier, so Hollick moves back into 3rd. Lehman right behind him, and Cover is falling off. Not too far, but just enough where there's a good couple strides behind. Now we strung out in that front. Backpack is now coming around this corner, so there's a good sizable gap from the front pack and the chase. Hollick really using the watch. So now here you see on the pack, that's Graveline leading that chase. As you got Mayu closing in on Cover. Barnes and Reed are still working together. And Hollick and Courier are now seeing the backs of lap traffic.
Allen, Courier, Balakis.
So still the same 4. No order change here. Hollick still up front.
Same 4 up front, they just change the order occasionally.
Covert still hanging around there. He hasn't let go too much, but he is falling off slowly. And there you see Barnes and Reeder come through the line. Went through with 6 to go. Now Courier and Vlahakis moving up, so it seems like Courier and Vlahakis make a move together. Hollick looks like he's antsy to make another move again.
I feel like it's always this point on the track, too. He opts to go for it.
Yep, likes to use this back corner. But it gets to a point where do Courier and Vlahakis get fed up and not let it happen anymore?
Well, I know they're definitely going to try at a certain point
yeah.
in the race, whether they can or not,
Yeah.
to be determined.
Yeah, because it's a lot of surges throughout the race here.
I believe they're at 5 to go.
Yep. So come up on the 2 mile then. Right around.
Looks like
Courier
Courier-
tightening up a little bit.
something's going on. You look at his right
Yeah.
arm. He's not swinging it.
No. I think it's his hamstring that's locking up on him?
I'll have to keep an eye on that. Looks like he's returned to normal form at this point, but definitely something to watch.
Yep, for sure.
Getting these 3+1.
Yep. And Courier is moving up, even though he's got something. He's moving up. Vlahakis is moving up with Courier.
Courier
4 to go.
and Lehman.
10:35.
1 mile to go. 1 mile to go.
Lehman still in 4th, not too far.
He's still reaching every
Yeah.
so often to his leg.
Yeah. Hollick looks like he's reaching for
Well, here we go.
his wrist. Oh, he's tossed a watch. He's not focused on the pacing anymore. He's just going to go off of Vlahakis now. Yeah, Courier is
Falling back definitely looks to be in
yeah,
pain.
He's tied up a lot. Again, doing a marathon, coming back for the 5K is
Yeah.
it's pretty daunting, but
Going out a little bit.
kudos to him for
I mean,
trying to
it's
come out here and doing this.
interesting he hasn't opted to step off. I know he's right up in the mix, but
Yeah.
you know, you got to think about long-term ramifications. It must be something he knows is that, okay, it's not going to be a long-term issue. It's something
Yeah.
I can just push through.
No,
but
I mean, soft tissue stuff is nothing to kid around with at this time of the season.
yeah, I imagine if he drops a little bit further back from them, he might opt to
Yeah.
take the early exit, but 3 to go.
Yeah, and I mean, he's tightening up a lot, but he's still right there. I can't see why you can't push for it if you feel okay enough to. And it seems like he's doing okay now. He's pulling
yeah, I mean,
back
it's-
up to Hollick.
that's
He's
the thing.
pulling way up. He's making a move up to Vlahakis. Courier in second.
Courier moving up on the outside.
Coming up, 600 to go.
I think
I think we have, actually, no, we have 1K to go.
no matter how. I think you're right. I think it was 600. I think no matter how this ends up, we might have to get an interview with him and just see what was going on.
Yeah.
'Cause I know I am curious.
I mean, this is a heck of a performance with how much he's pushing.
Hey, I mean, there's a reason he hasn't dropped. He's in second right now.
Yep, and he's only a few stride lengths behind Vlahakis.
800 to go.
Yep, so that was 1K to go. They're at 800 to go at 13:09. Vlahakis, Courier, Hullock, Lehman, 1 through 4. That's who we're watching. Mayu has moved up into 5th ahead of Couvert. And Mayu is closing in on Lehman, so that's going to be something to watch for in the back of that. As you can see, Vlahakis has pulled away from Courier a bit.
See if Courier has another surge in him.
Yeah, especially kind of pull back in.
Again, reminder, I do have a phone that was turned in. It was found out on the turf field. So if you lost the phone, I have it up in the press box. Coming into the gun lap.
Vlahakis looking at the back. That looks to be
Hullock moving up. Lehman's still there.
moving in. 14:22, 1 lap to go. Courier and Hullock. Pretty close, but it's going to be Vlahakis.
Yeah, he's out good. Looks like we might get a pretty good battle for second, although Courier
Courier
picking
is
it up.
picking it back up. Courier's got one of those really great kicks in the 5K. You don't. And you see a lot of it from mid-distance runners, but in the 5K, something like this. Yeah, Vlahakis might have this, though. Courier might have given up too much capital.
Yeah,
Vlahakis is pulling away.
Yeah, he's already at the arms,
Coming into the final straightaway.
firing hard.
Phillips, Exeter
Really
Academy,
great 200 kick.
Rosselli, Calvin Vlahakis, followed by Pascoma Valley's Gunnar Courier.
Vlahakis is going to be taking this win. Won't be able to get to that seed time, but he's going to be pretty much under 15:30. 15:28 unofficially.
Gunnar
Courier
then
coming in
Hullock,
around 15:35.
over Lehman.
Officially Vlahakis 15:28.76. Courier 15:34.66. Hullock coming in third, 15:40.49. Lehman 15:41.74. Mayu 15:45.29. I believe it's going to be followed by Couvert. Couvert in 6, 15:53.65. Should have the rest of the results coming on through as we go. Barnes 15:58.97. I believe he might be the last one under 16.
As we wrap things up,
So pretty solid 5K, 7 guys under 16.
Yeah.
Souhegan High School chap,
Reader 16:02.03 officially cutting off those under 16,
Tim Cox from New Hampshire Track and Field for putting this on.
especially with those couple hiccups in the beginning.
Yep.
Marathon Sports and Hoka.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get after
Yeah,
that.
especially.
Some good surges here to finish things up.
So we got the rest of our finishers.
Give a quick shout out to our fans, including Oyster River. Had a different kind of theme each lap there for the runners. I know at least one Co-Brown athlete was mixed in with them.
Yeah, you have to make it fun at this time of night
Yeah.
under the lights for a 5K.
Yeah, they were doing like a conga line, some push-ups,
Yep.
some other
Saw a
stuff
wave
going
in
on.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So That's a good way to finish up a pretty fun day.
Yep.
We've still got a couple of guys out there. So we'll get them in, wrap things up.
Yeah, I think there are 2 final runners. And yeah, huge thanks to those who stayed till the end out there.
Yeah, shout out to everyone watching at home right now. We got over 100 people watching, so
Oh, yeah,
pretty
look
good.
at that. They stayed on for us.
So get a good look at those times, those final times for those 16-plus guys. And as we finish up, once again, this is New Hampshire Track and Field, as well as Bay State Running, powered by Marathon Sports. Meet coverage today for both meets brought to you by Hoka. It's been a great day. Special thanks to Marathon Sports and Hoka for helping with all of this coverage. Plenty of coverage still to come in terms of recaps across 4 different states. We'll get different takes on the events today, especially those BSR Elite events. We've got a lot of Instagram stuff to check out. Photos, if you want photos of today, high res, great quality. Jay Smith does a phenomenal job. Check those out. We've got links. We will have links for those on nh.staterunning.net. And I think that's going to do it.
Yeah.
What do you
also,
think?
special thanks to Upstart Timing.
Yep, Upstart
well.
Timing, doing
Go
the time
over-
today.
Again, athletic.live will be where you find our events today. Timing from Pat at Upstart Timing. Thanks to him.
That's right.
And I think huge thanks to Stowhegan for hosting this meet.
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson, Tim Cox, our coordinators, as well as Dennis Shepard.
Yes. All right.
So we'll close it out here.
That's going to do it for us. All right. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow night. If
Yep.
you're interested in some more, we got Western Twilight
Sure
coming
will.
up next on BSR. We'll see you guys.